Chapter 353. With the growth of his cultivation, the effect of the great sun core decreased. Just like back then, Xing Hui used less than a month to cultivate from the true Qi realm to the spirit refining realm. But this time, just from the middle stage of the prominent divine realm to the peak stage of the prominent divine realm, it took him 2 whole months. In 2 months, his cultivation smoothly entered the peak stage of the prominent divine realm. Next, it was not that he was unwilling to break through to the true element realm, but the Golden Crow true Qi cultivated from the Golden Crow bloodline and the Crimson Yang true Qi cultivated from the Torch Dragon bloodline had gradually become unbalanced. It was just like the problem he encountered when he was in the spirit refining realm. If he rashly raised the Golden Crow true Qi to the Saint realm and turned it into true Qi, the Golden Crow divine soul that was nourished by the true Qi would definitely grow and completely devour the Torch Dragon divine soul. In this way, the advantage would naturally be enough for Xing Hui to directly cross the true element realm and reach the peak of the true element realm. Then, because of the true Qi transformation technique, he would naturally step into the transformative realm. But the disadvantage, he would lose the Torch Dragon bloodline and his persistence in dual meridians for so many years would be destroyed. It's not time yet. Even if I really want to give up the Torch Dragon bloodline, I shouldn't give it up now. The true element realm is not difficult for me. I don't need to give up such a great opportunity just to break through to the true element realm when I reach the transcendent realm or even the domain realm. When the Golden Crow bloodline is unable to advance, it won't be too late to consider using the Torch Dragon divine soul to break through. Xing Hui muttered to himself, then he stopped the next step of his cultivation on the Great Sun Core. Torch Dragon bloodline. Xing Hui sensed the aura of the Torch Dragon bloodline in his body. His Torch Dragon bloodline had already broken through the barrier of the Cyan Nether realm and had reached the peak of the Cyan Nether realm. However, there were too few treasures in the world that could help the Torch Dragon bloodline. Just relying on himself to constantly refine his Torch Dragon bloodline and increase his compatibility with the heavens and earth to reach the Cyan Nether realm, it would take at least 8 to 10 years to reach the stage where he could condense a battle physique. This was because his Golden Crow bloodline had already entered the Azure Nether realm and had related experience. Xing Hui raised his head to look at the Chaos Treasure Pavilion floating outside his personal space. It seemed to be in another dimension. Then, he projected his mind into it. No. After a few months, the items that could be exchanged in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion did not change. I can only improve my Torch Dragon bloodline as soon as possible while tempering my mind. Fortunately, I've already used the Taoist rhymes in the Creation Divine Jade to improve my chaos level during this period of time. In addition to the golden blood that was given to me by Venerable Firmament, I still have 158 Taoist rhymes left. I'll go to the Silver Chamber of Commerce and see if I can buy something satisfactory. With that thought in mind, Xing Hui contacted Gong Xing, Sr. What are your orders, Senior Dongyang? After receiving Xing Hui's message, Gong Xing immediately stepped forward and bowed respectfully. After that, he hurriedly said, Senior Dongyang, your immortal flower has been confirmed by the higher-ups of the Silver Chamber of Commerce as one of the 3 finale items of the auction. When the time comes, it will definitely be auctioned at a price that you'll be satisfied with. I hope that you'll come and participate in this auction. Oh, it's being auctioned as the finale item. Xing Hui nodded, hoping that this immortal flower would bring him some additional income. However, no matter how high the price of this immortal flower was, it would probably not exceed 200 Taoist rhymes. The Silver Chamber of Commerce had already paid him 150 Taoist rhymes as a deposit. After the auction, he would only receive a few dozen Taoist rhymes. Now, he was no longer the Awakening Realm cultivator who had just entered the Chaos Temple. He faintly felt that a few dozen Taoist rhymes was too much for him to bear. My disciple's cultivation progress has become quite slow, but I don't have anything that can help him with his cultivation. I'm here to ask you if you have anything that can assist the cultivation of an immortal-level Torch Dragon bloodline cultivator. Gong Xing looked troubled when he heard this. Senior, the Torch Dragon bloodline is too precious. If you want the Golden Crow bloodline, the Kunpeng bloodline, the Qilin bloodline, or even the Chaos bloodline, we can gather 1 or 2 of them, but the Torch Dragon bloodline, seeing Gong Xing's bitter face, Xing Hui shook his head slightly. It seemed that he could not force it. It's okay, go ahead. If you find out any relevant information, just let me know as soon as possible. Yes. Xing Hui nodded and returned to his personal space. However, when he stepped into his personal space, he seemed to have thought of something and was slightly taken aback. Even if I can't buy it from the Silver Chamber of Commerce, I can buy it from other chambers of commerce. The Silver Chamber of Commerce is not the only business alliance in the Infinite Wasteland world. In the entire Infinite Wasteland world, there were 6 major chambers of commerce. Behind these 6 chambers of commerce were the shadows of the 1 hall, 3 sects, 6 schools, and 9 gates. The Silver Chamber of Commerce was only one of the 6 major chambers of commerce. Thinking of this, Xing Hui's figure flashed and appeared in the Sky Dome realm. When he arrived in the Sky Dome realm, he originally wanted to find esteemed Zhu Zhao and esteemed Zhang Jin to inquire about the whereabouts of the 5 major chambers of commerce. However, after considering that the esteemed Zhang Jin and esteemed Zhang Jin were very busy because of the crisis in the Sky Dome realm, it would be making a mountain out of a molehill to disturb them over such a small matter. A moment later, he had already appeared outside the book creation hall. Junior sister Yuling. Senior brother Pak Hui, are you looking for esteemed Zhang Jin? He doesn't seem to be in the Sky Dome realm. I'm looking for you. You often take care of matters in the book creation hall. I want to ask you about the contact information of the 6 major chambers of commerce. The 6 major chambers of commerce? Yuling was slightly taken aback. Then, she said, Senior brother Pak Hui wants to inquire about the 6 major chambers of commerce. I recommend someone to you, and you should know this person. Who? Senior sister Jin Yu. She is the granddaughter of the pavilion master of the wonderful Jade Pavilion, one of the 6 major chambers of commerce in the Heaven Wasteland region. Jin Yu? Xing Hui immediately reacted. Isn't this a good friend that Nailin Fei made in the Sky Dome realm? Xing Hui immediately nodded at Yuling. Then I'll go and contact her now. Thank you for telling me. It's fine, it's fine. After chatting with Yuling for a while, Xing Hui sensed Nailin Fei's personal space. Her personal space was currently closed. Clearly, she was still in closed-door cultivation and did not leave any trace of consciousness in the Primal Chaos Shrine. Fortunately, Xing Hui now had extremely high authority in the Sky Dome realm. After recalling Jin Yu's mental fluctuations, he used the special authority of the Sky Dome realm and quickly appeared outside the scripture depository. After entering the scripture depository, he searched for a while and soon saw Jin Yu, who was flipping through a book. Miss Jin Yu. You are Pak Hui. When Jin Yu heard Xing Hui call her, she turned around and looked at him curiously. What's the matter? The cultivation of my Shining Dragon bloodline has become sluggish. I want to buy some materials that can help with the cultivation of the Shining Dragon bloodline. So, I wanted to ask the wonderful Jade Pavilion. Materials for the cultivation of the Shining Dragon bloodline? You want to buy something? When Jin Yu heard this, she revealed a happy smile. Her eyes narrowed into crescents. That's great. If you want to buy something, just look for me. Shining Dragon bloodline, right? I'll ask around for you. Go to the coming peak and wait for me. The coming peak was a mountain platform that appeared when anyone entered the Sky Dome realm. After Xing Hui nodded, Jin Yu's figure quickly disappeared. Clearly, she had left the Sky Dome realm to contact others. As for Xing Hui, he used his authority in the Sky Dome realm to go to the coming peaks platform. After waiting for less than 10 minutes, Jin Yu's figure appeared again. You're in luck. We have 2 treasures related to the Torch Dragon on sale at the Miaoyu Pavilion. One of them is the Torch Dragon Blood, which is at the divine stage and contains powerful energy. The other is a wisp of the Torch Dragon Remnant Soul. I've already asked for the price for you. Moreover, based on our relationship, I'll give you a discount of 35 Daoist rhymes. The Torch Dragon Remnant Soul is a little more expensive, but if you need it, I can get it for you at 50 Daoist rhymes. 35 Dao rhymes, 50 Dao rhymes. Although Tsinghui had 158 Dao rhymes, 110 of them had to be used to buy the Shining Sun Sutra from Sword Master Bai Heng. If he bought the Shining Dragon Remnant Soul and the Shining Dragon Blood, he wouldn't have enough Dao rhymes left. However, considering that he still needed some time to cultivate the Shining Sun Sutra to the peak of the prominent divine realm and that he would get more than 30 Dao rhymes after the auction of the Unfallen Flower, he agreed. I want both of them. You really want both of them? You can take out 85 Dao rhymes in one go. I didn't expect Pak Hui to be so rich. I'm just lucky to have some opportunities. Tsing Hui smiled faintly. Alright, I'll immediately contact the people for you. The item you bought this time is worth 85 Dao rhymes. I'll try my best to ask one of the Voidwalkers in our Chamber of Commerce to make a trip here. However, since it involves physical transactions, ordinary Voidwalkers might not be free. Therefore, you might need to wait for a few months, but it shouldn't take more than a year. A few months. A year. Tsing Hui pondered for a moment. Then, if I can contact a Voidwalker and directly go to your Chamber of Commerce to get the item, can I get a better discount? You can contact a Voidwalker. Jean Yu's beautiful eyes widened. In the next moment, she actually hugged Tsing Hui's arm and said with a passionate expression, Big Brother Pak Hui, can you introduce that Voidwalker you know to me as well? When we complete the transaction, we need a Voidwalker to deliver the item. How about we split it 50-50? Every commission is 3 to 4 Dao rhymes. Even if we split it, we'll still get 1 or 2. You think too highly of me. Do you think I can decide the whereabouts of a Voidwalker? AI, that's true. Jean Yu's enthusiasm suddenly decreased a lot. However, she still looked at Tsing Hui with a strange look. If you can really contact a Voidwalker and go to the Chamber of Commerce, I can sell these 2 items to you for 80 Dao rhymes. 80 Dao rhymes? Deal. I'll contact the Voidwalker. When I'm done, I'll ask you for the spiritual coordinates. Well, that Voidwalker is going to go over. Remember to inform me. I'll arrange for the people of Miaoyu Pavilion to receive him in advance. Of course. Tsing Hui smiled and nodded. From Jean Yu's behavior, it seemed that the Voidwalkers were really important to these chambers of commerce. His incarnation technique had now been upgraded to the 5th level. Although his 5th level mutation was not like the ordinary Voidwalkers, where he could almost completely ignore the weakened state brought about by the incarnation technique, 10 days was enough to completely recover the side effects of the incarnation technique. Although every time he became a Voidwalker, he would have to travel back and forth between Tianhuang region and his destination. He might waste 20 days of cultivation time, but he could gain 10 Dao rhymes. When he really did not have any Dao rhymes left, he could really consider it. Chapter 354. Tsing Hui, who had obtained the coordinates, deliberately waited for 3 days before transforming into the form of the East Sun and descending upon Miaoyu Pavilion. Everyone in Miaoyu Pavilion immediately gave him a grand welcome. Even the pavilion master of Miaoyu Pavilion personally came forward to complete the transaction with Tsing Hui, whose price had been reduced to 75 Dao runes. He also enthusiastically invited Tsing Hui to become a Voidwalker of Miaoyu Pavilion. However, Tsing Hui was pressed for time. It seemed to be an extravagant hope for him to cultivate the vacuum-crushing void and return to Earth in 10 years. However, this did not mean that he was willing to waste time on other things. Everything was still more important to him, and the sooner he could cultivate the vacuum-crushing void, the better. Of course, he did not refuse Miaoyu Pavilion's invitation. If he ran out of Dao runes at any time, cooperating with Miaoyu Pavilion and the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce was not a bad choice. I can finally improve the Torch Dragon bloodline again. A faint look of joy appeared on Tsing Hui's face. At present, the Torch Dragon bloodline had almost no effect other than the enhancement of his sword intent. Instead, it was faintly dragging him back and restricting the growth of the Golden Crow vital energy. If not for the fact that he had persevered for so many years and felt that it would be a pity to fail at the last hurdle, he would have long given up on cultivating the torch dragon bloodline. The torch dragon blood. Xing Hui carefully sensed the torch dragon blood and understood after a moment. This comes from the same source as the torch dragon blood that I bought from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. His cultivation had improved by more than a level compared to before, but in order to fully exert the effect of the torch dragon blood, Xing Hui chose to temporarily put the torch dragon blood aside and wait until he had the roaming dragon blood transformation elixir. Let's see the effect of the torch dragon remnant soul first. This strand of torch dragon remnant soul costs 50 Dao runes. I wonder how it compares to the strand of golden crow remnant soul in the golden crow spirit essence. With that, Qing Su did not waste any time at all. He absorbed the remnant soul very soon, and immediately, a tremendous aura suddenly appeared in his mental world, blasting his mental world violently. As a bright radiance spread out, the entire spiritual void was illuminated, emitting endless light and heat. True God Great Sunday, Xing Hui could not help but sigh at the vast power possessed by these innate divine beasts when he looked at the lingering soul of the torch dragon. It had to be known that any innate divine beast was born from a certain law of heaven and earth. Their bodies contained this mysterious Tao charm, and different divine beasts represented different laws. However, no one knew what these laws referred to. This information came from the ancient books passed down from the Divine Wilderness era, and even those ancient books from the Divine Wilderness era only speculated that divine beasts might be existences derived from laws. There was no evidence to support this claim. Wait a moment, just as Xing Hui's own torch dragon divine soul fused with this true torch dragon remnant soul, Xing Hui keenly sensed that something seemed to be wrong. This torch dragon remnant soul contained the pure will of the Great Sun True God. It was as if it was the incarnation of the Great Sun True God. It was slightly different from the torch dragon God's soul that Xing Hui had created in his mental world. Although the true intent of Torch Dragon's remnant soul was the radiance of the sun, that radiance was mainly sunlight and radiance. However, the true intent of his Torch Dragon God's soul, apart from the radiance, it faintly carried the charm of time. What did humans rely on to determine the concept of time? 2 hours, a day, a month, a year. These standards all stemmed from the sun and its radiance. Humans invented the concept of 24 hours based on the reflections formed by the sun's radiance. According to the sunrise and sunset, 1 day was understood to have passed. Then, 30 sunsets were integrated to form a month, and 12 months were counted as a year. The words that the ancients used to describe time, such as time, spring, year, and scenery, almost all of them had the word light. Light, on a certain level, represented time. The torch dragon God's soul in the mental world was influenced by the legendary Lord of Time, and contained a trace of the concept of time. It was precisely because of this that it was somewhat incompatible with the radiance of the torch dragon remnant soul. After pondering for a moment, Xing Hui ultimately chose to refine this torch dragon remnant soul instead of letting it fuse into his own soul like the golden crow soul essence back then. This way, while the effect of the growth of his soul would be greatly reduced, it would not affect the true intent of Xing Hui's torch dragon God soul. Buzz buzz. As Qing Su completely refined the soul of the torch dragon, a profound ripple expanded, allowing his mind that had been tempered to the 80th step with the help of the broken sword to reach the 80th step silently. It reached the 80th step. However, after a while, Xing Hui's eyes revealed a look of surprise. Sword intent. His sword intent, which had long been close to the phenomenal stage but had never truly stepped into the phenomenal stage, actually broke through silently after he completely established the true intent of his torch dragon God's soul. With this breakthrough, the power of his phenomenal stage sword intent to deprive others of the concept of time suddenly increased. His sword intent did not make time stagnate or reverse time. After exiting the cultivation room, his Yuan spirit quickly flew towards the void. Without the restraint of his physical body, the effect of air resistance on him was reduced to the minimum. His flying speed was unbelievably fast, and it did not take long for him to reach a height of 100,000 meters. At several tens of thousands of meters, the heavenly wind gradually appeared. This kind of heavenly wind contained traces of spiritual qi and energy, and it could already faintly threaten the Yuan spirit. However, this kind of threat was nothing to Xinghui, who had the recovery ability of the 10th order. His Yuan spirit continued to fly higher and higher, and it did not take long for him to reach 60 kilometers. 60 kilometers, if he was on Earth, he would have already flown out of the stratosphere. However, in this strange world, what entered his eyes was still a vast land and the increasingly violent astral wind. The astral wind was vast and mighty, and if it was not for the fact that Xinghui was here in the form of a Yuan spirit, and it was his original body, he would have already been blown around by this mighty astral wind. This place is almost there. Xinghui's figure constantly changed. The astral wind blew, and it was like a steel knife, constantly cutting at his Yuan spirit. This kind of violent tempering method made Xinghui's Yuan spirit tremble, and he wanted nothing more than to turn around and return. Even if he had an extremely powerful recovery ability, how could the pain of his Yuan spirit being cut be comparable to the pain of his physical body? After holding on for less than 2 hours, Xinghui had no choice but to descend. His Yuan spirit did not suffer any substantial damage, but the kind of mental torture brought by the pain made him mentally and physically exhausted. After his Yuan spirit returned to his body, Xinghui did not even have time to rest and recuperate. He just closed his eyes, emptied his mind, and quickly fell into a deep sleep. It was like a mortal who was not allowed to sleep for more than 10 days in bed. Even if his physical strength was not exhausted, and his body was not damaged, that kind of torture was still enough to make him go crazy. This sleep lasted for 5 whole days. 5 days later, Xinghui's spirit withered, and he ended his rest. He began to recuperate his body's qi. Another 5 days passed. Another 5 days passed, and Xinghui's mental state was raised to the peak. Through the primal chaos interface, he glanced at his basic information. After 2 hours of tempering his Yuan spirit, and 10 days of rest and recuperation, his spiritual force had finally risen from the previous 81st level to the 82nd level. The effect is there, but it's too slow. This is because I have a 10th order recovery ability that can continuously heal the damage to my soul. If it was the Fortune Mainland's cultivators with 3rd, 4th, or 5th order recovery ability, they would only last half an incense stick's worth of time before they have to recuperate. Moreover, the time needed to recuperate would be several times longer than mine. I estimate that half a year's time would be my limit. Xinghui summarized his cultivation efficiency. Compared to ordinary people, it could be considered extremely fast. However, compared to tempering his spiritual force in the divine refining pavilion and using the broken sword to temper his spiritual force, the effect was much worse. I wonder if it would be better to cultivate the roaming spirit control technique to perfection. Xinghui glanced at the Fortune Divine Jade that had accumulated enough Dao rhymes to raise his spiritual force by 1 chaos grade, and he was slightly hesitant. However, this hesitation only lasted for a moment before it was replaced by decisiveness. The purpose of raising my spiritual force is to prepare for the battle against the chaos. With my current spiritual force, I'm afraid that I won't be able to withstand an ordinary sword intent from those peak Saint Realm experts. If I don't raise my spiritual force, what's the use of raising my spiritual force? With this thought, Xinghui quickly circulated the roaming spirit control technique and began to comprehend it with the help of the Fortune Divine Jade. The cultivation of immortal arts that had been stagnant for several months was restarted. Chapter 355. 10 days later, Xinghui stopped practicing the Wandering Spirit Control skill. At this time, he had already practiced the Wandering Spirit Control skill to the advanced level. It was not that the Fortune Jade could not help him continue to comprehend the Wandering Spirit Control skill. In fact, he had already comprehended the threshold of the advanced level with only 3 days of Taoist connotation. However, if he wanted to practice this secret skill to the consummate realm, he had to be tempered by the thunder tribulation. Now, Xinghui could not even pass through the 9 heavens astral wind, let alone draw down the thunder tribulation above the 9 heavens astral wind. He was able to practice it to the advanced level because of the mystery of the fortune jade. Otherwise, he would be completely stuck at the peak of the basic level. I can only reach this level. The wandering spirit control skill needs to bombard the primordial spirit with the power of thunderbolts, turn yin into yang, and practice the yang spirit. Although I can't draw in the power of thunderbolts, my spirit is not weak. Secondly, I've constantly tempered my primordial spirit with the help of the Grand Sun Golden Crow skill, so that my primordial spirit also has a trace of yang spirit characteristics. Only then can I reach the advanced level of the wandering spirit control skill. Unfortunately, I can't completely practice this supreme magic skill to the consummate realm with this shortcut method. This is the current limit. Xing Hui felt a little regretful. However, compared with before, his primordial spirit had improved a lot. He did not waste any time. His primordial spirit once again flew out of his body and soared into the 9 heavens astral wind. In the blink of an eye, he had reached the 9 heavens astral wind within a range of 60 kilometers and tempered his primordial spirit with the help of the 9 heavens astral wind. Due to the strength of his soul, the tempering process this time took 3 whole hours. By the time Qing Su returned to his main body, he had spent 4 days cultivating. His mental strength had reached the 83rd level as well. The effects were remarkable. In the next few days, Xing Hui was immersed in this kind of cultivation. However, although his mental strength was still increasing, the efficiency had slowed down. It took him 6 days to raise his mental strength to the 84th level. When his mental strength reached the 86th level, 27 days had passed. Fortunately, the 9 heavens astral wind did not reduce the tempering effect of the Yuan Shen by much. As long as Xing Hui was willing to spend 3 to 4 years, he could even use the power of the 9 heavens astral wind to push his psyche to the 100th level. Just when Xing Hui finished a new round of cultivation and his soul returned to his body, he saw Ling Yu waiting outside with the vice master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Wen Hui. From their expressions, they seemed to have been waiting for quite some time already. After pondering for a while, Xing Hui slightly adjusted his mental state. After he had more or less recovered his mental state, he stepped out of the training room. As soon as he came out of the cultivation room, Yun Tao, who was planting his own flowers and plants outside the courtyard, immediately sensed him. He immediately stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "Alliance Master, you've come out of seclusion. I can sense the presence of the Vice Master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Wen Hui. Has he come to our Life Alliance for something?" The Vice Master of the Green Lotus Sword sect has already come to our Life Alliance over half a month ago. However, you've told us not to disturb your cultivation unless it's something major, so we haven't reported it. Yes, well done. I really should deal with a small matter like this after I've finished cultivating. Xing Hui said. He had established the Life Alliance in the first place to collect the items that carried the way from overseas. He had already collected all of them, so there was not much left. The reason why he kept the Life Alliance around was so that it would be convenient for him to direct people around, so it would be more convenient for him to cultivate. If his cultivation time was delayed because of trivial matters, there would be no need for the Life Alliance to exist. Get Ling Yu to bring Wen Hui to see me in the living room. Xing Hui said. A month had already passed. He had been cultivating and refining his primordial spirit. He did not know if he had collected all the herbs for the Wandering Dragon Blood Dissipation Elixir. If he had, he could use the Wandering Dragon Blood Dissipation Elixir to break through to the prominent divine stage. With the continuous improvement of his mental strength and the mastery of the Wandering Spirit technique, his confidence in condensing the Divine Grade Torch Dragon combat body had also increased by a lot. If he was only 60% confident in condensing the Divine Grade Torch Dragon combat body previously, he was now 80% confident. Although he was still a little short of the 100% confidence he had when he condensed the Divine Grade Golden Crow combat body, as long as he was careful, there should not be any accidents. At most, he would pay a price to condense the Divine Grade Torch Dragon combat body at the critical moment. As long as his foundation was not damaged, he would be able to recover no matter how serious his injuries were. Soon, Wen Hui and Ling Yu were led to the living room by the people of the Life Alliance. Alliance Master Tsing Hui, you've finally come out of seclusion. I've been waiting for you here for a long time. As soon as he saw Tsing Hui, Wen Hui immediately greeted him. Vice Sect Leader Wen, you're a rare guest. Tsing Hui nodded at Wen Hui and asked, may I know why you're here, Vice Sect Leader Wen? May I have a private talk with Alliance Master Tsing Hui? Wen Hui glanced at Ling Yu with an apologetic look in his eyes. You may take your leave. Tsing Hui waved his hand at Ling Yu. Yes. Ling Yu bowed and left quickly. I'm sorry, Alliance Master Tsing Hui. This matter is too difficult to talk about, so I have to be careful. It's fine. Can you tell me what it is now, Vice Sect Leader Wen? Wen Hui gritted his teeth and said, I would like to ask Alliance Master Tsing Hui to help me deal with someone. Who? Dong Yu. Dong Yu? Tsing Hui frowned. Dong Yu is the Vice Sect Leader of the Green Lotus Sword Sect. He and I have always been competitors, and we're all on the same level. During this period of time, I even showed signs of standing out among the Vice Sect leaders because of the deal I made with Alliance Master Tsing Hui. However, not long ago, Dong Yu obtained some kind of opportunity and pushed his chaotic rank 9 to rank 10. He has the divine skill, and with the divine skill, the importance he receives in the sect has changed. The sect leader and the supreme elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect are already thinking of making him the successor of the sect leader. Oh. This is an internal matter of the Green Lotus Sword sect, so it's not appropriate for me to interfere. Tsing Hui said. I know that the Alliance Master is collecting a lot of Dao carrying items. If Alliance Master Tsing Hui is willing to kill Dong Yu, I'm willing to give you 10 Dao carrying items as a reward. Moreover, if I become the sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect in the future, my Green Lotus Sword sect will always be on good terms with Alliance Master Tsing Hui's Life Alliance. We'll trade with each other and work together. 10 Dao carrying items as a reward. For the sake of 10 Daoist rhymes, he had made a trip to the Green Lotus Sword sect and killed one of their vice sect masters. It was not worth it. He might as well deliver the goods to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. However, considering that as long as he did this, Wen Hui would have a great handle on him. He already had other plans in his mind. 10 Dao aura items is a little too little. Moreover, the mutual trade and mutual advancement and retreat that you spoke of will have to wait until you completely become the sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect. If my guess is correct, your Green Lotus Sword sect has a total of 5 or 6 deputy sect leaders. Therefore, your promise to me is completely like the moon in the mirror and flowers in the water. At present, I've already stood out among the 6 vice sect leaders. The only one above me is Dong Yu. As for Jin Lai and O Yangli, who are on par with me, I'm confident that I can beat them. As for the remaining 2, we've already left them behind and are not worth mentioning. Tsing Hui shook his head. Before you sit on the sect leader's throne, no one knows what changes will happen. Your promises are meaningless. Alliance Master Tsing Hui. Wen Hui suddenly became anxious. Take a rest. I still need to think about this matter. After all, the Green Lotus Sword sect is one of the 10 great sacred sects. They have a 10th level divine weapon like the Green Lotus Divine Sword. They are not easy to deal with. Please give me an answer as soon as possible, Alliance Master Tsing Hui. 3 days. Give me 3 days to think about it. After 3 days, regardless of whether I succeed or not, I will give you an accurate answer. In that case, I'll wait for Alliance Master Tsing Hui's good news in 3 days. Wen Hui said, helplessly suppressing the anxiety in his heart. Please keep this a secret for me, Alliance Master Tsing Hui. Don't let a third party know about what I've said today. You can rest assured that I won't tell anyone. Wen Hui nodded and retreated somewhat unwillingly. Not long after Wen Hui left, Ling Yu was already led into the main hall by a guard. Alliance Master. Yes. Have you collected the medicinal ingredients for the Wandering Dragon blood dissipation powder? It's already been collected. Vice Sect Master Wen brought a piece of sword jade with him when he came, and the Hunyuan Heaven Sect didn't make things difficult for you when they learned that you needed the spirit essence. They directly sent a piece over. Good. Xing Hui nodded. What do you think about Wen Hui? He has been in our Life Alliance for more than half a month. Have you inquired about why he came to our Life Alliance during this time? When Wen Hui mentioned that he wanted to stay in the Life Alliance and wait for you, I felt that something was wrong. Although the sword jade is precious, it's not enough to make him, the vice sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword Sect, squander his time in the Life Alliance. According to my investigation, Wen Hui is at his wit's end. He has no choice but to place his hopes on you. His wit's end? Oh, tell me about it. Dong Yu is one of the vice sect masters that Wen Hui tried his best to suppress. It is said that in order to suppress Dong Yu's fighting spirit, Wen Hui not only secretly destroyed the Dong family, but also killed Dong Yu's Dao companion. The hatred between the two can be said to be irreconcilable. Now that Dong Yu has the upper hand, his cultivation has broken through from the middle stage to the peak stage of the Blue Netherworld realm, and he has also raised his chaos level to the 10th level. With a great increase in his cultivation, he immediately launched a bloody revenge against Wen Hui. In less than 2 months, more than half of the Wen family's forces behind Wen Hui have been annihilated. This is also because Dong Yu has to wait for the cooldown of the divine art. Otherwise, the entire Wen family might not exist anymore. Oh. In other words, if this trend continued, Wen Hui would probably only have a dead end? The Green Lotus Sword Sect did not stop him. Every time a sect master of the Green Lotus Sword Sect takes the position, they have to kill a group of people by default. It is regarded as an act of the sect master to establish his prestige. As long as Dong Yu does not try to kill all the vice sect masters who compete with him, the Green Lotus Sword Sect will not stop this, just like they did not stop Wen Hui from persecuting Dong Yu. Moreover, according to my understanding, Dong Yu has a relationship with the first great elder of the Green Lotus Sword Sect, Shin Qin. Even if Dong Yu really does go too far, the great elders of the Green Lotus Sword Sect will probably turn a blind eye. Very good, it seems that Wen Hui is really at his wit's end. So, it will be easier for us to control him. A gleam flashed through Qing Su's eyes. Every sect was supported by a powerful chaos organization. It was unrealistic for him to attack them directly, but if these sects came to him and wanted to be controlled by him, he would not be polite. Heaven Wasteland was nearly 30 million kilometers away from the eastern wilderness. Even if the strongest main battle incarnation of a powerful expert could descend, it was estimated to be at the transformative realm. Taking into account the increase in battle strength, it was at most equivalent to an expert of the Endless Realm. He believed that when he completely controlled the Green Lotus Sword Sect and displayed enough strength, coupled with his identity as a member of the Sky Dome Sect, the powerful experts of the Chaos Organization would make the right choice to stop. Chapter 356. The next day, Xing Hui summoned Wen Hui. As soon as they met, Xing Hui said bluntly, "It seems that Vice Sect leader Wen has been in a difficult situation recently." Wen Hui's expression changed. After a while, he understood that Xing Hui had figured out the whole story. He had wanted to negotiate with Xing Hui in a hurry because he was worried that Xing Hui would raise the price after understanding his current situation. Who would have thought that now, with a bitter smile, Wen Hui could only bow to Xing Hui. It is indeed difficult. That is why I have come to the Life Moon Alliance to ask Alliance leader Xing Hui to help me. Right now, everyone in the Green Lotus Sword Sect, including the first Grand Elder Shin Qin, thinks highly of Dong Yu. They think that he can lead the Green Lotus Sword Sect to greatness and prosperity. If I help you kill Dong Yu, I will completely offend the Green Lotus Sword Sect. I don't think our friendship has reached the level where I can offend such a huge figure for you. Therefore, I can't think of a reason for me to help you. When Wen Hui heard Qing Su's words, he immediately understood that Qing Su probably knew all the details. Trying to bluff his way through was nothing more than wishful thinking, so he no longer tried to push the issue. My demands right now are very low. I just hope that you can protect my life and our Wen family. But Dong Yu may not let you do as you wish. Don't forget how you treated him and the Dong family behind him. That is why I have come to ask Alliance leader Tsing Hui to help me. Wen Hui looked at Tsing Hui and said, Alliance leader Tsing Hui, you are a capable person. No one in the entire Eastern Wasteland can deny this. In less than 8 years, you have grown from an ordinary cultivator to the level where you can easily kill 2 grand elders of the Creation Mystical Sect and make the Creation Mystical Sect not dare to act rashly. Your cultivation is one of the best in the entire Eastern Wasteland. I'm afraid that other than Daoist Tian Ding and a few others, no one can say that they can defeat you. I have always believed in an old saying, the greater one's ability, the greater one's ambition. Ambition? In fact, when we first met a few years ago, I could see that. Alliance leader Tsing Hui probably wanted to take over the Green Lotus Sword sect at that time. Oh, go on. The leader of the Qing Su Alliance wanted to control me back then mainly because he wanted to use my identity as the vice leader to enter the Green Lotus Sword sect. After all, the Life Alliance was already on the verge of conquering the overseas region. Although it hadn't completely occupied the overseas region, it was only a matter of time before it became the overlord of the overseas region. Out of consideration for the future direction of development, you had to develop towards the inland region. The 10 sacred sects in the inland region had already divided up all the territories. Even forces as strong as the Wanxiang City, Alchemy Valley, and Heavenly Medicine Alliance could only rely on the 10 sacred sects to survive. If the leader of the Qing Su Alliance's Life Alliance wanted to enter the inland region and didn't want to be attacked by the 10 sacred sects, the best way was to infiltrate one of the 10 sacred sections. The Green Lotus Sword sect, which is the weakest among the 10 sacred sects, was obviously your best choice. That's a very reasonable analysis. Tsing Hui looked at Wen Hui and could not help but sigh. Wen Hui was indeed not a simple person to be able to sit on the vice sect leader's throne of the Green Lotus Sword sect. If not for the fact that he had no other choice, he would not have placed his hopes on Wen Hui. Now that Golden Blade Island has retreated and the forces that the Create Evolved Mystical Sect invested in the East Sea have been wiped out, there is no other force in the East Sea that can be your match. If you want to expand, you will either have to expand beyond the seas or face the Create Evolved Mystical Sect head-on. Be it the Create Evolved Mystical Sect or the Outer Sea, the price to pay for expansion is too high. With your current strength, it is obviously not suitable. If the Green Lotus Sword sect can open the door for you and allow you to join our Green Lotus Sword sect at this time, the Life Alliance only needs to gain a firm foothold and there is hope for you to conquer the entire continent in the future. Wen Hui, your analysis is very reasonable. If I can give you the sect leader's throne of the Green Lotus Sword sect, how will you repay me? The sect leader's throne of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Wen Hui's breathing paused for a moment, and his breathing became a little chaotic. However, this panting did not last long before he forcefully suppressed it and forced himself to calm down. All I need is to protect my own life and the Wen family. I've already informed the Qing Su Alliance master about this. I won't take anything else. Good. Tsing Hui nodded. Then, I agree to your request. Wen Hui was shocked to finally hear the answer he wanted. He bowed deeply to Tsing Hui and said, "Thank you, Alliance leader Tsing Hui. Give me one of your spiritual imprints. I need your origin imprint." Yes. Even though Wen Hui had no idea what Qing Su wanted his soul origin imprint for, he still handed it over like he was told. You don't know what it means. Tsing Hui took the spiritual imprint, glanced at Wen Hui, and laughed. You should know that I have a powerful figure behind me. This news is not a secret now. Wen Hui was slightly taken aback when he heard this, and then his expression changed. That Almighty, other than possessing terrifying strength, is also an expert above level 25 who has mastered the incarnation technique. Unless you are able to cultivate to the never-ending realm or even the golden elixir realm in the future, if you do anything that goes against my interests, don't blame me for asking that Almighty to send down his main combat incarnation and kill you. At that time, not only you, but your entire family will be implicated by you and meet with a calamity. Although Wen Hui was mentally prepared, when he heard Xing Hui's words, he could not help but feel a chill rise from the bottom of his heart and his face turned pale. After a long while, a trace of color returned to his face, and he responded with some hesitation. Alliance leader Xing Hui, don't worry. I said that I only need to protect my life and our Wen family. Everything else belongs to Alliance leader Xing Hui, and even the entire Green Lotus Sword sect will be no exception in the future. Very good. Xing Hui's gaze fell on Wen Hui, and after carefully sizing him up, he said, I will not deal with Dong Yu. When Xing Hui said this, Wen Hui's expression immediately turned ugly. Alliance leader Xing Hui, you, let me finish. Xing Hui looked at Wen Hui with a faint smile on his face. Although I will not help you deal with Dong Yu, I can give you the ability to match Dong Yu. If I am not wrong, you have already cultivated to the peak of the Green Netherworld realm more than 10 years ago. Now, your White Tiger bloodline is only a little bit away from officially breaking through to the prominent divine realm and condensing a battle body. Wen Hui seemed to have guessed the meaning of Xing Hui's words. His body trembled slightly, and he hurriedly said, yes, my White Tiger bloodline has indeed cultivated to the peak of the Green Netherworld realm. I just need an opportunity. But this opportunity has been stuck for me for 14 years. The quality of your Gang Qi is not low, but you were barely able to condense it. Moreover, your foundation in the Spirit and Qi integration realm and the Green Netherworld realm are very ordinary. Even if you can condense a saint body, you can only condense a spiritual battle body. If you want to condense a saint body, or even a saint body of the White Tiger, the probability of condensing a saint body is less than 5%. But 5% is not incurable. If you can get a rank 8 or even a rank 9 Holy Beast White Tiger's corpse, this 5% chance will increase to 30%, or even 40%. Even if you can't condense a White Tiger saint body, the chances of condensing a lower-level saint body will be around 60% or 70%. A rank 8 or even a rank 9 Holy Beast White Tiger's corpse. How can there be one? A White Tiger is one of the 6 holy beasts. It's almost equivalent to a semi-divine beast. We don't have one in the eastern wilderness. Wen Hui was stunned and did not come to his senses for a while. When he came to his senses, his eyes suddenly shone with ecstasy. He knelt down before Xing Hui without caring about anything else. Alliance leader Xing Hui. My lord, please grant my wish. Go back and wait for the news. I'll contact the powerful figure behind me for you. He originally wanted to intervene in the affairs of the Eastern Wilderness, but he didn't want to do anything for the time being. Now that you've given him a reason to do so, I believe he won't refuse such a good opportunity. Yes, then I'll wait for the news on Moon Lake Island, my lord. Wen Hui said in a deep voice. The way he addressed Xing Hui had changed completely. He regarded himself as a subordinate in front of him. After Wen Hui left, Xing Hui did not waste any time. He went directly into the Chaos Divine Palace to find Gong Xing. I need the corpse of a White Tiger sacred beast. It has to be at least level 8. It would be best if it could be at level 10, 11, or 12. The corpse of a White Tiger sacred beast. Gong Xing was slightly stunned, and there was a trace of hesitation on his face. The White Tiger sacred beast is different from the four-eyed bird. As one of the 6 holy beasts, the corpse of the White Tiger sacred beast has always been very precious. Although our Galaxy Commerce has a special hunting team to hunt these spiritual beasts and sacred beasts, there are too many cultivators who have awakened the White Tiger bloodline, so the corpse of the White Tiger sacred beast is much more valuable than the other sacred beasts' corpses. How much does the corpse of the White Tiger sacred beast sell for in the Galaxy Commerce? Our Galaxy Commerce has hunted a total of 6 White Tiger sacred beasts in the past few years. 3 of them have been sold. Among the remaining 3, a level 13 sacred beast has been sold separately. Because it's a White Tiger sacred beast in the divine realm, it's quite expensive. Among the remaining 2 sacred beasts, one is level 11 and the other is level 9. The level 11 White Tiger Sacred Beast costs 60 Dao Rhymes, and the level 9 White Tiger Sacred Beast costs 20 Dao Rhymes. 20 Dao Rhymes? Xing Hui frowned. I remember that even a level 9 Bai Fang, Ghost Chariot, and other sacred beasts' corpses don't cost more than 10 Dao Rhymes. Sometimes, 4 or 5 Dao Rhymes can buy a level 9 Bai Fang or Ghost Chariot's corpse. The White Tiger Sacred Beast's corpse is too popular. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. In addition, it's one of the 6 sacred beasts, the peak existence among the sacred beasts. The price of 20 Dao Rhymes is actually a discount. If an ordinary person were to buy it, it would cost 23 or 24 Dao Rhymes. Xing Hui just wanted to train Wen Hui a little. He didn't expect that he would have to pay such a high price. After a moment, he seemed to think of something. Doesn't Wen Hui also have 10 Dao Rhymes? He can make up for the 10 Dao Rhymes. Since he dares to ask for 10 Dao Rhymes, I believe that he should have more than 10 Dao Rhymes. Thinking of this, he immediately said, I want this White Tiger Sacred Beast's corpse. I'll go get it now. At the same time, prepare a shipment for me. I can deliver it on behalf of the Galaxy Commerce. Gong Xing's face suddenly lit up with joy. Yes, Senior Dongyang. I'll arrange it now. Chapter 357. Full Moon Palace Conference Hall. Xing Hui summoned Wen Hui again. I have already spoken to the senior behind me, and he happens to have the corpse of a rank 9 White Tiger Saint Beast. However, you should know that as one of the 6 divine saints, the price of a White Tiger Saint Beast has always been very high. Even in the infinite wasteland world, it can be sold for 20 or 30 Dao rhythms. If you include the transportation costs from the infinite wasteland world to our eastern wasteland world, you can forget about getting it without 30 or 40 Dao rhythms. However, I have already explained your position to the senior behind me and your importance to the Life League in entering the main continent. In the end, the senior decided to give you a discount. As long as you can gather 30 Dao rhythms, he is willing to send this White Tiger Saint Beast for you to refine and complete your White Tiger Saint body. Xing Hui said slowly. 30 Dao runes. Hearing this price, Wen Hui's face suddenly revealed a bitter expression. Lord, although I have used my identity as the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect to consciously collect Dao runes, and even used the power of the Wen family, but I only managed to gather 22 Dao runes. These Dao runes are almost the accumulation of the entire Wen family over hundreds of years. The remaining 8 Dao runes are really 22 Dao runes. You have to be clear, the corpse of the White Tiger Saint Beast can be sold for 20 Dao runes in the Heaven Wasteland world. If it is transported to the Eastern Wasteland world, let alone 30 Dao runes, even if it is 300 Dao runes, there will be countless sects joining forces to buy it. I have already spent a lot of effort to obtain the corpse of the 9th Order White Tiger Saint Beast for 30 Dao runes. When Hui's expression changed, and he hurriedly said, Alliance Master Xing Hui, please rest assured, I will think of a way, I will definitely try my best to think of a way. Yes, I remember that the Lu family and the Tong family seem to have some Dao runes. I will ask someone to bring a divine weapon to exchange with them. Huh? Xing Hui heard this, and his heart trembled slightly. It seems that the Green Lotus Sword sect has stored a lot of Dao runes over the years. Wen Hui immediately understood what Qing Su wanted to ask, so he answered as if he was showing off, the 10 sacred sects have collected quite a few of these items. After all, due to the monopoly of the organization of chaos behind the 10 sacred sects, the items that can be purchased from Class 7, Class 8, or even Class 9 weapons in the Heaven Wasteland world can be purchased at an extremely low price in the Eastern Wasteland world. No organization with ambition would be willing to see themselves suffer such a loss. As a result, unless we have no other choice, we will never trade the items we collect with anyone else. Xing Hui felt that Wen Hui's words made a lot of sense. Because of the existence of the Chaos Temple, it was impossible that the Sons of Chaos did not know about the huge difference in prices between the Heaven Wasteland world and the Eastern Wasteland world. Under such circumstances, it was reasonable that they were unwilling to be exploited by the Chaos organization in the Heaven Wasteland world at an extremely low price. The Tao runes that we have accumulated are generally used to trade with the commercial organizations that come across the sea. However, due to the transportation and cost problems, the commercial organizations that come across the sea offer an extremely high price. The price of a Tao rune of a 5th level upper divine weapon is naturally very cost-effective for those who do not have the backing of the Chaos organization, but it is not worth it for us. Therefore, the sects often focus on cultivating powerful Sons of Chaos, in the hope that one day there will be a powerful saint-level Son of Chaos who successfully arrives at the Heaven Wasteland world, and then returns with many treasures to the sect. Is that how you got your Green Lotus Divine Sword? Yes, the Green Lotus Divine Sword of our Green Lotus Sword sect, as well as the 9th and 10th level divine weapons of the other sacred sects, were all purchased in this way. There was a hint of sadness in Wen Hui's eyes as he said, "Unfortunately, the cost of doing so is too high." Once the Son of Chaos that our sect has placed high hopes on arrives at the Heaven Wasteland world, it is very easy for him to be blinded by the colorful world of the Heaven Wasteland world and abandon our Green Lotus Sword sect, causing our decades of investment to go down the drain. In the last 100 years, other than the Xinshao Sword sect, the Limitless Sword sect, and the Creation Mysterious sect disciples who returned with many treasures from the Heaven Wasteland world, the other forces have not received such treatment. The Xinshao Sword sect. Xing Hui suddenly understood. According to his understanding, the Xinshao Sword sect was in fact on the same level as the Green Lotus Sword sect, the Giant Dragon Mountain Range, the Jin Wu religion, and the Pharaoh sect. However, in the short span of a dozen years, they had produced a large number of true energy experts, leaping to the same level as the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, the 6 Paths of God and Demons, and the Qianquan Sacred Land. At that time, he felt a little strange, but now. It was because the experts of the Xinshao Sword sect had returned from the Heaven Wasteland world with a large number of treasures. How many Tao-carrying items have been accumulated in each sect? This. Wen Hui became rather hesitant when he heard Qing Su's question, but when he considered that he had already bet everything he had on Qing Su, he decided to just go with the flow. The Eastern Wastelands are a continent with a lot of treasures that carry the ways. Even some large continents can't compare to us. That's exactly why the 10 sacred sects have formed. Even the Heaven's Way and Sword Shadow have placed their pawns in the Eastern Wastelands. Coupled with the large-scale battle that seemed to have erupted in the Outer Sea recently, which lasted for several decades, it's been over 90 years since any merchants have come to trade. As a result, apart from the Creation Mystical Sect, the Wuji Sword Sect, and the Xinshao Sword Sect, the 10 sacred sects probably have close to 100 treasures that carry the ways of the world on the surface. As a result, no one knows just how much they're hiding, but I'm guessing that it won't be less than what's on the surface. The continents that are rich in Tao runes, each sect has close to 200 Tao runes. Hearing Wen Hui's words, Xing Hui, who had originally planned to wait for the remnant sword to arrive and then directly head to the Heaven Wasteland world, suddenly had an idea. Among the 10 great sects, even if the Limitless Sword sect, the Creation Mysterious sect, and the Xinshao Sword sect were not included, the remaining 7 sects would be able to obtain 1,300 to 400 Tao runes. If the Creation Mysterious sect, the Limitless Sword sect, and the Xinshao Sword sect were included, the number of Tao runes would definitely exceed 1,500. 1,500 Tao runes. It must not be wasted. I remember that in order to prevent the great experts from interfering with the Tao runes of other continents, which would lead to a war between the great experts and the 2 great chaos organizations, there was an agreement that no great experts could interfere with the internal strife of these continents. There is indeed such an agreement, but this agreement does not include the main battle avatars of the great experts, nor does it include the many divine weapons that they bestowed, nor does it include the great experts that were trained locally. It does not include the great experts that were trained locally. What do you mean? Xing Hui seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Every great expert is an important existence in our world. If a great expert is born on a continent that was originally controlled by the other chaos organizations, and this great expert wants to wipe out the other forces and unify the continent, then this action is tacitly permitted out of respect for this great expert. If the other top chaos organizations are still unwilling to give up and want to interfere in the affairs of this continent, they would have to invest a large amount of resources to train another great expert on this continent. How can it be so easy to train a great expert? Xing Hui wore a faint smile on his face. If it was so easy to train a great expert, then esteemed Zhu Zhao's two great disciples, the Remnant Sword and the Yulan Orchid, would not have been mentioned time and time again by Master Zhangzhen, Master Firmament, and the others in a tone full of envy. It could be seen that it was extremely difficult for even an invincible giant like esteemed Zhu Zhao, who was ranked in the top 10 of the entire Infinite Wasteland region, to train one or two great experts. If the great experts of the other chaos organizations want to unify the continent, then the great experts of the other chaos organizations are not allowed to do so. That is to say, if someone's cultivation is strong enough to unify the continent, even if he does not have the strength of a great expert, the other chaos organizations are not allowed to send great experts over? Xing Hui asked, already having other plans in mind. That being said, the other chaos organizations are not allowed to send great experts over, but they can send their main battle avatars. Even though the Eastern Wilderness is nearly 30 million kilometers away from the Infinite Wasteland region, it is not difficult for a great expert's main battle avatar to reach the true energy realm. Given their realm, it is not difficult for such an avatar to suppress an expert of the transcendent realm. If it is a peak great expert, the main battle avatar's battle power is even difficult for an ordinary expert of the eternal realm to contend with. As for the main battle avatars of the invincible giants of the divine realm, only experts of the gold core realm can resist them. If they are added to the amazing enhancement of the chaos level, it is not difficult for them to defeat the gold core realm experts. Xing Hui understood the meaning of Wen Hui's words. For a continent like the Eastern Wilderness that was rich in Dao carriers, it was impossible to unify it without the help of a great expert. It seems that I have thought too simply. The benefits of a continent, especially in a place like the Eastern Wilderness where the production of Dao carriers is comparable to that of a large continent, are indeed unfathomable. Xing Hui gradually calmed down. If I unify the continent, I will inevitably have to face the Heaven Dao behind the Creation Mysterious Sect and Jian Ying of the Wuji Sword Sect. Although it is unlikely that these two forces would allow the invincible giants of the divine realm to send down their main battle avatars for the benefit of the Eastern Wilderness, it is still very likely that they would allow a peak saint expert to send down their main battle avatars. With such an avatar, coupled with the enhancement of the chaos level, I am afraid that I will only be able to truly fight against it when I reach the transcendent realm. As long as the level of the avatar technique of the invincible giants of the divine realm was not too high, it would still take several months or even years for them to pass through the period of weakness. After all, the consumption of a main battle avatar was greater than that of an ordinary avatar. And during this period, the battle power of a divine realm expert would be crippled, which would have a huge impact on the grand plan of the entire force. One careless mistake could put the entire force into a situation of life and death. This was also why Xing Hui was certain that even the Heaven Dao and Jian Ying would not allow the invincible giants of the divine realm to send down their main battle avatars. Although I can't fight against the Creation Mysterious Sect, the Wuji Sword Sect, and the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, which have the support of the Heaven Dao and the Sword Will, what is there to worry about with a small Green Lotus Sword Sect? By the time I take down the Green Lotus Sword Sect, my cultivation will have gradually stepped into the True Energy Realm. With the True Energy Realm's battle power, I can use the Green Lotus Sword Sect as my base to sweep across the Eastern Wilderness. The Jin Wu religion, the Giant Dragon Mountain Range, and the Pharaoh Sect will all be in my pocket. As long as I take down these 6 or 7 forces, I will gain at least 1,000 Dao rhymes. Xing Hui's eyes gradually became sharp. Then, let's do it. Sweep across the Eastern Wilderness, starting with the Green Lotus Sword Sect. Chapter 358. It was easy to defeat a sect, but it was not easy to collect all the Tao-carrying items in the sect. He could not do this kind of interrogation and investigation himself. Someone had to do it for him. The Life Alliance was not enough. The Green Lotus Sword sect was just right, therefore, the Green Lotus Sword sect had to be firmly controlled by Wen Hui. Now, give me all the Tao-carrying items you have. I will ask the senior behind me to send you the body of the rank 9 White Tiger Sacred Beast as soon as possible. Once the body of the White Tiger Sacred Beast arrives, you can go into seclusion and strive to break through to the Prominent Sage stage in 1 or 2 months. Once you reach the Prominent Sage stage, I believe the sect master's throne of the Green Lotus Sword sect will belong to you. Yes, master. My Tao-carrying items are all here. Wen Hui hurriedly agreed, and with a joyful expression, he offered up the Tao-carrying item on his body. Go back and wait for the news. Yes, master. Wen Hui received a satisfactory answer and happily bowed again before retreating. Very good. A smile appeared on Qing Su's face as he accepted all 22 Taoist rhymes. After deducting the 20 Tao-carrying items I need to buy the White Tiger Sacred Beast's body, I still have 65 Tao-carrying items left. Tsing Hui looked at the Tao-carrying items in his personal space and could not help but feel a little helpless. The 100 Tao-carrying items of the Illuminating Sun Sutra was getting further and further away from him. Fortunately, when he went to buy the White Tiger Sacred Beast's body this time, he would deliver another batch of goods on behalf of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, which could slightly make up for his losses. In addition, if he could occupy the Green Lotus Sword sect, he would probably have 100 or 200 Tao-carrying items in his account. Furthermore, Tsing Hui sensed the fortune jade in his spiritual world. When he raised his chaotic level to the 36th level, he was left with 20 Tao-carrying items. After cultivating on the Great Sun Core for 2 months, he accumulated 60 Tao-carrying items. Then, he sharpened his mind and comprehended immortal techniques intermittently for 2 months. During this period, although a part of the Tao-carrying items was consumed because of comprehending the Wandering Spirit Control technique, there were still 108 Tao-carrying items in the Fortune Jade, which was enough to raise his chaotic level again. Then, the 37th step. Tsing Hui focused his attention on the Chaos God Palace's model interface. As the number representing his primal chaos level blurred, his primal chaos level went from level 36 to level 37. He did not hesitate to put the extra chaos level into his personal space. Personal space at the 7th tier. Once my chaos tier reaches the 40th tier, my personal space will naturally reach the 10th tier. Once that's done, my personal space will be able to hold living things. When that time comes, as long as my chaos tier isn't erased in the war of chaos or I don't have a chance to be annihilated instantly, no one can kill me. I'll go to the 9 heavens astral wind to hone my primordial spirit and improve my mental strength. Then, I'll go to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce on planet Tianhuang. Although Tsing Hui knew that time was of the essence, he didn't plan to hand over the White Tiger Holy Beast's corpse to Wen Hui immediately, lest Wen Hui became suspicious. After tempering his mind for 3 days, Tsing Hui once again sent his clone to Yunxia City, the branch of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. Because he had already been instructed in advance, Tsing Hui did not delay at all when he arrived at Yunxia City. He directly took the White Tiger Holy Beast's corpse and the goods that the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce needed to send, and returned to the eastern wilderness. Then, he spent another 3 days tempering his mind again. Although the tempering effect of the 9 heavens astral wind was not as significant as when he was in the Refining God Pavilion or with the help of the broken sword, and the process was much more painful, under the constant blowing of the astral wind, his mind was obviously much more condensed, especially his ability to resist spiritual attacks, which had been improved to a great extent. This improvement was not because his mind level had increased, but because his mind was more tolerant of pain at the soul level. It was like some pampered ordinary people, who might faint from pain from a knife wound, but those soldiers who were in a rain of bullets could heal their wounds without batting an eyelid. It's almost time. After waiting for 6 days, Tsing Hui did not delay any longer and summoned Wen Hui, considering that Venerable Zhu Zhao's disciple, Remnant Sword, was quickly rushing to the eastern wilderness. If he really wanted to capture all the Taoist rhymes in the Jin Wu religion and other forces, he would have to do it within a year. In the past 6 days, Wen Hui tried everything he could to adjust his mental state. He wanted to bring his mental state back to its peak, but as soon as he thought about how there would be a Class 9 White Tiger Saint Beast for him to refine, or even enough to give him a 30 to 40% chance of condensing the White Tiger's saintly physique, he became uncontrollably excited. It was impossible for him to calm down. As a result, when Qing Su saw him, his vitality had actually declined slightly compared to 6 days ago. It's not easy for you to condense the White Tiger's saintly body in this mental state. If you're not careful, you might not even be able to condense the second-level saintly body. If you only condense a spiritual battle body in the end, it will be too disappointing. Tsing Hui looked at Wen Hui, who was in front of him, with dissatisfaction. Wen Hui also understood that there was something wrong with his condition, so he could only smile bitterly. I can't control my emotions when I think about obtaining the corpse of a Class 9 White Tiger Saint Beast. Don't worry, Master. I will definitely adjust my mental state to its peak as soon as possible and condense a Saint-tier battle body. Only then can I live up to Master's high hopes for me. It's good that you know. As Qing Su said that, he did not waste any time and said to him, "Come with me." After saying that, he took him directly in the other direction of Moon Lake Island and stopped in front of a palace cultivation room about 30 kilometers away from the Full Moon Palace. The corpse of the White Tiger Holy Beast is here. You can adjust your mental state here and prepare to condense the divine battle body. Although Wen Hui had not yet stepped into the cultivation room, he could already feel the magical power in the cultivation room that was enough to trigger the resonance of the bloodline in his body. Suppressing his excitement, he said with certainty, "Master, please rest assured. Even if I have to risk my life, I will definitely condense a saint-grade battle body and follow you everywhere in battle." "I hope so. Go." Tsing Hui waved his hand. "I'll go now." Wen Hui bowed respectfully and quickly entered the cultivation room. Not long after, the cultivation room was closed, and the indoor and outdoor areas formed two worlds. Seeing that Wen Hui had begun to cultivate in seclusion, Tsing Hui also calmed down. "My mental strength has reached the 86th level, and the roaming dragon blood transformation elixir is ready. My cultivation has reached the peak of the green netherworld realm. Now, it's time to try to condense the divine-grade battle body of the torch dragon bloodline. I wonder what kind of magic power will be derived from this divine-grade battle body." Qing Su murmured before leaping into the air. He shot through the air with his sword, shooting past the sky above Moon Lake Island like a streak of light. He directly shot towards the cultivation room he resided in. Not long after, he landed in the cultivation room. Outside the cultivation room, Yun Tao was still in charge of guarding. When he saw Tsing Hui, he quickly stepped forward and bowed. "Greetings, Alliance Master." After swallowing the soul-dispersing elixir, there was no doubt about their loyalty. The only problem was, unity of divine qi. Compared to the current him, their cultivation was too low. If someone really wanted to harm him, Yun Tao, who was in charge of guarding him, would probably be killed without anyone knowing. There would be no warning at all. Apart from Yun Tao and Zhu Yu, there's no one in the Life League that I can trust. Even Ling Yu is no exception. As for Wen Hui, although I control his life and death, if he knows that I'm that mysterious almighty, he can also escape my control by killing me. Ling Yu thought to herself. Tsing Hui stepped into the cultivation room and could not help but think about the problem that he had been thinking about earlier. There's no one who can keep up with my cultivation speed and be at ease when I need to focus all my energy on comprehending in seclusion. Tsing Hui could not help but think of the methods that Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Cang Zhen, and Venerable Master Zhu Zhao had used to deal with this phenomenon. Perhaps I can consider taking in a disciple. A disciple who costs relatively less to cultivate and can obtain great strength, Tsing Hui muttered to himself. After this idea was born in his mind, Xing Hui made a mental note of it. If he really had the chance to meet such a genius, he could indeed consider taking him in as a disciple and train him well. At least he would not have to worry about being killed at a critical moment when he was cultivating in seclusion. Collecting his thoughts, Xing Hui's gaze fell on the roaming dragon blood dispersing elixir and the torch dragon blood. After this period of tempering, his spirit had become more tenacious and powerful. In addition, he had broken through the void transformation technique on the Fortune mainland. For him, the probability of condensing the complete torch dragon battle physique was no longer the previous 50 to 60%, but at least 70 to 80%. This probability was not low. After using half a day to adjust his essence, chi, and spirit to the peak, Xing Hui swallowed the roaming dragon blood dispersing elixir and the torch dragon blood without hesitation. For a time, various changes similar to the Golden Crow battle physique rapidly evolved. The powerful true chi began to merge with his torch dragon divine soul continuously, breaking the shackles of the body, allowing the power of the torch dragon divine soul to be carried by the power of the medium. It began to condense little by little, and when this condensation reached the extreme, it was completely manifested. Divinity manifestation. The divinity manifestation of the torch dragon battle physique. With the experience of cultivating the Golden Crow battle physique last time, Xing Hui could be said to be in no hurry throughout the process. He was not in a hurry and naturally condensed the torch dragon battle physique. As the seraphic dragon war body condensed, the sword intent in the green ruins mental world rumbled and seeped into the seraphic dragon war body silently. It immediately caused the seraphic dragon war body to undergo a profound change. A mysterious presence that seemed to be able to freeze the surrounding space radiated out. It's done. Xing Hui carefully sensed the condensed torch dragon battle physique with a faint smile on his face. The confidence has reached 80%. As expected, there are no variables. I condensed the divine grade battle physique naturally. At least, I didn't break the torch dragon battle physique at this critical step. Now, I have 2 divine grade battle physiques. In order to condense the divine grade torch dragon battle physique, he had made ample preparations. In addition, his current foundation was incomparable to when he condensed the Golden Crow battle physique. Although his foundation was not as profound as the Golden Crow battle physique, the process of condensing the torch dragon battle physique was easier than the Golden Crow battle physique. Chapter 359. The Golden Crow divine body has 2 great innate abilities, namely the Great Sun True Fire and the Eternal Resplendent. The Great Sun True Fire strengthens the fire attribute attacks, making the Golden Crow divine body's attacks more domineering. The Eternal Resplendent is actually an evolved form of the Eternal Blazing Sunday. The power of the Eternal Blazing Sun is fixed, but the Eternal Resplendent can be improved as my cultivation increases. The Golden Crow divine body has these 2 great innate abilities. I wonder how the Torch Dragon divine body is. Xing Hui closed his eyes, manifested the Torch Dragon divine body, and quickly sensed the innate abilities of the Torch Dragon divine body. The first innate ability. Transforming into the Great Sun True Spirit, immunity to a lot of damage, and at the same time, can absorb a lot of fire energy to recover my consumption and injuries. It's similar to a defensive and recovery method, somewhat similar to the Phoenix's Nirvana. Unfortunately, my recovery characteristic has been upgraded to the 10th level. As long as I'm not crushed to ashes, it's very difficult to die. No matter how strong this innate ability is, it's probably not comparable to the 10th level recovery characteristic. It's a little useless. Xing Hui sensed it and felt a little regretful. Fortunately, the Torch Dragon divine body had more than one innate ability. The second innate ability made Xing Hui's eyes light up slightly. Light deprivation. Depriving the enemy of their light senses. This ability is useful. Although a cultivator can sense the enemy's location through aura and the changes in the airflow caused by the cultivator's movements after reaching a certain level, and the loss of light vision doesn't affect them significantly. However, if this innate ability is combined with the immortal technique, yin-yang reversal, that can reverse one's aura and even the 5 elements. It can almost kill people without leaving a trace. With a faint look of joy on his face, Xinghui continued to sense the third innate ability of the Torch Dragon Divine Body with a trace of anticipation. The Torch Sun Sutra and the Great Sun Golden Crow technique were similar in grade. Logically speaking, there should only be 1 or 2 innate abilities awakened. Xinghui only tried to sense the third innate ability with the idea of tapping the potential of the Torch Dragon Divine Body. This time, he actually sensed the third innate ability. As Xinghui gradually figured out the ability of the third innate ability, his expression turned slightly solemn. Backlight strike. Using a method to deceive the enemy's senses and even the heaven-earth primordial chi, so that the attack can skip the attack process and directly hit the target? Very soon, he realized that this innate skill should have been derived from his sword essence. As a matter of fact, Xinghui's mental power consumption when he used this innate skill proved his conjecture. Although this innate skill consumed true chi, it still took up a large portion of his spiritual power, or rather, it depended on the strength of his sword intent. It's truly extraordinary. Compared to purely attacking with sword intent, this innate skill is undoubtedly much more mysterious. When facing those cultivators whose spiritual level is more than 20 levels lower than mine, I can even directly use this innate skill to kill them before they can even react. Even those cultivators whose spiritual level is similar to mine will be affected to some extent as long as their spiritual level is lower than mine, causing my attacks to become even more mysterious and impossible to guard against. Xinghui sensed the difference between the Torch Dragon Divine Body and the Golden Crow Divine Body, and finally understood why the Torch Dragon Divine Body was known for its mystery, while the Golden Crow Divine Body was blazing and domineering. It could be seen from the innate skills they had awakened. It's a pity. Although I have awakened 2 bloodlines and have 2 divine bodies, I can only use 1. Without manifesting my divine body, the power of the Torch Dragon Divine Body will be greatly reduced if I force myself to use the innate skill of the Torch Dragon Divine Body. Xinghui felt a little regretful in his heart. However, this regret only lasted for a moment before he was struck by an idea. If I can cultivate the incarnation skill to the 10th level, I will be able to split into 2 and have a permanent incarnation that is identical to my own cultivation level. At that time, can I use one body as the Golden Crow Divine Body to attack and kill the target, and the other body as the Torch Dragon Divine Body to assist and interfere? The more Xinghui thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. Moreover, in addition to the incarnation skill, he also had the I-Chi turning 3 pure 1 secret technique. If he could cultivate the I-Chi turning 3 pure 1 secret technique to perfection, he could create 3 bodies, including his original body. Moreover, this secret technique did not seem to conflict with the incarnation skill. As long as his mental power was strong enough to support 6 things at once, and he could exert 100% of the combat power of those incarnations, it was almost equivalent to 6 of himself. However, all these ideas were based on whether he could survive the upcoming battle against the chaos in the sky. Even if he comprehended the I-Chi turning 3 pure 1's immortal technique, he had to make way for the upcoming battle against the chaos. Closing his eyes, Xinghui began to consolidate and familiarize himself with the various changes of the Torch Dragon Divine Body. Time flowed like water, and half a month passed in the blink of an eye. In this half a month, not only did Xinghui thoroughly familiarize himself with the various changes of the Torch Dragon Divine Body, but he also began to try to use the Burning World incantation to constantly trigger the collision and sharpen the essential chi in his body to make it purer. However, so far, the effect was not obvious, and it would take several months for the essential chi to be completely refined. This kind of thing could not be rushed. Xinghui also thought of using external forces to directly compress his essential chi, turn it into liquid, and condense it into essential essence. However, if he was not careful with this method, it could cause the quality of his divine-grade essential chi to drop. If the essential essence condensed was only saint-grade essential essence, it would be too late for regrets. Therefore, even if he knew there was a shortcut, he had to restrain himself in order to ensure that nothing would go wrong. Through this somewhat crude method, he allowed his essential qi to constantly collide with his essential qi and refine it into essential essence. Just as Tsing Hui was refining his essential qi and progressing step by step toward the first level of the Saint Realm, the essential essence realm, a slight noise suddenly came from outside the cultivation room. As refining essential qi was not something that could be done overnight, Tsing Hui was not in a hurry to continue his closed-door cultivation. Instead, he came out of the cultivation room and happened to see Yun Tao guarding the door, as well as Wen Hui, who was constantly pacing back and forth, waiting for him to come out. Seeing Tsing Hui come out of the cultivation room, Wen Hui's face immediately lit up with ecstasy, and he hurriedly stepped forward. "Greetings, my lord." "My lord, you've finally come out. You've been pacing back and forth outside the cultivation room. Did something happen?" "Yes," a trace of shame appeared on Wen Hui's face. "My lord, as I've been overseas for the past few months, that Dong Yu took advantage of my absence and used some unknown method to make 4 of the 7 great elders of our Green Lotus Sword sect express their stance and support him to become the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. And the sect master of our Green Lotus Sword sect has also approved of him and intends to abdicate and take the throne of the great elder, handing the Green Lotus Sword sect over to Dong Yu. We must return to the Green Lotus Sword sect as soon as possible and prevent this matter from being confirmed. Otherwise, it will be too late by the time the sect master and the great elders completely spread the news." Tsing Hui frowned and completely ignored Wen Hui's words about the sect master's succession. He stared at Wen Hui with a somewhat angry gaze. "You've already been in closed-door cultivation for half a month. In this half a month, you haven't even broken through to the prominent saint realm? This is the answer you're giving me?" Wen Hui sensed the dissatisfaction in Tsing Hui's tone and immediately quivered. He quickly woke up and hurriedly added, "Although I haven't broken through to the prominent saint realm in this half a month, I've already adjusted my condition to the peak. Furthermore, because I've refined a lot of white tiger's blood, my foundation is more than a level thicker than before. The hope of condensing the white tiger's saintly body has greatly increased. If I really want to break through to the prominent saint realm, I have a 50% chance of successfully condensing the white tiger's saintly body. Then what are you waiting for? But regarding the Green Lotus Sword sect, if we continue to delay, Dong Yu's position as the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect will be secured. At that time, it will be too late for us to snatch the Green Lotus Sword sect from his hands. I'm worried that this will affect Master's plan to control the Green Lotus Sword sect." "Don't worry, it won't affect it. Even if Dong Yu obtains the trust of the other Grand Elders and becomes the next sect master, for such a big matter, the Green Lotus Sword sect will definitely hold an inheritance ceremony. Before the inheritance ceremony is held, he will have to send out invitations everywhere. This process will take nearly a month. In addition to the preparations, the inheritance ceremony will only begin 2 months later. As long as you can break through to the prominent saint realm in these 2 months, why would you worry about not being able to obtain the sect master's throne?" After Tsing Hui finished speaking, his expression turned cold. "To reject a prominent saint vice sect master like you and deprive him of his right to the sect master's succession, has this action been approved by you, the vice sect master, and I, Tsing Hui? I'm just afraid that once the invitations are sent out, even if they know that I've broken through to the prominent saint realm, it will be too late to regret it." "It won't be too late. At that time, I will go to the Green Lotus Sword sect with you. If anyone has any objections to you being the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, I will personally reason with them." Qing Su placed a slight emphasis on the words "reason with me" at the end. Clearly, this so-called "reason with me" was not as simple as a normal "reason with me." With Qing Su's promise, Wen Hui was relieved. If the alliance master of the Qing Su alliance was willing to intervene in this matter, with his divine-grade battle body and his battle prowess that allowed him to kill the 2 great elders of the creation mystical sect, he would be able to suppress everyone else. Even the first great elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Shen Qin, would be powerless to oppose him. If you want to forge iron, you need to be strong. Break through to the prominent saint realm as soon as possible. Yes, this subordinate was reckless. This subordinate will take his leave. Okay. Sing Hui said. Seeing Wen Hui leave, Sing Hui's gaze gradually turned cold. Time waits for no one. Remnant Sword would arrive at the eastern wilderness in slightly more than a year. There wasn't much time left. If the Green Lotus Sword sect was tactful and allowed Wen Hui to safely take the position, then so be it. But if the Grand Elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect insisted on excluding Wen Hui from the sect master's throne, in that case, he might as well not go about doing things step by step and be justified. He would just force the Green Lotus Sword sect over. Chapter 360. This time, Wen Hui did not disappoint Sing Hui. When Sing Hui was tempered by 6 rounds of astral winds and raised his spiritual level to the 87th level, a majestic aura swept out from the other side of Moon Lake Island. The aura was fierce, murderous, and magnificent. It was clearly only the bloodline of a sacred beast, but the moment he condensed the battle physique, all the cultivators on Moon Lake Island felt a kind of fear that came from their souls. Even Ling Yu and Lord Jinhai, who were not inferior to experts in the prominent divine stage, had a great sense of fear, as if they were being targeted by their natural enemy. Of course, this was also because Wen Hui did not have enough control of his own power. For example, when Sing Hui condensed the Golden Crow physique, it did cause a huge commotion that alarmed the entire Fenshin sect, but when he condensed the Torch Dragon physique, it was calm. This did not mean that the Torch Dragon physique was inferior to the Golden Crow physique. On the one hand, the Torch Dragon bloodline itself was known for its mystery, and its power was not obvious. On the other hand, it was also because Sing Hui's spiritual level had been greatly enhanced, and his control of his own energy had improved. Naturally, his spiritual qi would not leak out and cause an earth-shattering phenomenon. This aura. It seems to be the White Tiger Sacred Physique. The White Tiger Sacred Physique is the sacred beast that is best at fighting among the 6 divine beasts. In terms of pure head-on fighting, even the mythical beast Qilin is no match for it. Even if the mythical beast Kunpeng does not roam around and fights head-on with the White Tiger Sacred Physique, it would not be able to defeat the White Tiger Sacred Physique. At that time, I would like to see if the power of the White Tiger Sacred Physique is as tyrannical as the rumors say. Sing Hui sensed for a moment, then quickly continued to concentrate and immersed himself in cultivation. While he was using the astral winds to temper his spiritual qi, he did not forget to refine his spiritual qi. In the past month, his spiritual qi had been refined to the extreme, and was qualified to condense into spiritual qi. However, in order to ensure that the process of condensing the divine-grade spiritual qi was foolproof, he still planned to refine his spiritual qi for another month. When Sing Hui successfully raised his mental strength level to the 88th level, the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce's auction would officially begin in half a month. An invitation was sent to Sing Hui's personal space. Glancing at the item that even the Illuminating Sun Sutra could not afford, Qing Su did not care if Wen Hui continued to stabilize his vision divine stage. He directly summoned Wen Hui, who was in secluded cultivation. On a nameless island about 100 kilometers away from Moon Lake Island, Wen Hui, whose spiritual aura had obviously changed, hurriedly bowed when he saw Sing Hui. "Greetings, Lord." Sing Hui nodded and reached out to Wen Hui. "Come, let me see the power of the White Tiger Saintly Body." Wen Hui's face showed a trace of hesitation. "It has only been 10 days since I condensed the White Tiger Saintly Body. I haven't fully mastered the power of the White Tiger Saintly Body. The White Tiger Saintly Body is very powerful. If I'm not careful, I'm afraid I won't be able to control my own power. If you can hurt me, I'll consider you capable. Then I'll offend you." As soon as Wen Hui finished speaking, the aura on his body suddenly soared, and the White Tiger Saintly Body manifested. Behind him, a terrifying white tiger phantom with a diameter of nearly 100 meters roared to the sky. A suffocating and terrifying murderous aura rolled over. Just the crushing thunderous power caused the essence of heaven and earth within a radius of dozens of kilometers to undergo drastic changes. The calm sea instantly became turbulent without any wind. "Good momentum," Sing Hui exclaimed. one of the 6 divine saints. He could go against the existence of the divine beasts in his own domain. A divine-grade battle physique might not be able to crush an ordinary divine battle physique easily, but it would have an obvious advantage. Only when faced with a divine beast of the 6 divine saints level, the advantage would be greatly reduced. This could be seen from the terrifying momentum manifested by the white tiger saintly body, Rumble. In the face of the white tiger saintly body, one of the 6 divine saints, Xing Hui did not dare to be careless. With a burst of brilliant light exploding from the void above his head, endless light and heat waves swept out continuously, as if a sun had suddenly risen behind him. In the center of the sun, the golden crow saintly body mixed with endless heat rushed toward him. Even when Hui, who manifested the white tiger saintly body, could clearly feel the terrifying temperature of the golden crow. Attack, let me see the real power of the white tiger saintly body. Yes, Lord, be careful. After when Hui felt the power of the golden crow's saintly body on Xing Hui, a sense of pride rose in his heart. As the deputy suzerain of the Green Lotus Sword sect, although he seemed to be extremely humble in front of Xing Hui, it was for his own life and the future of his family. If it were not for the fetters of his family, any superior of the Green Sea realm could easily be arrogant, let alone Wen Hui, who had condensed the white tiger's saintly body. Now that he could personally fight with the legendary divine-grade battle physique, he naturally did not want to admit defeat easily. As soon as he finished speaking, the white tiger's saintly body above his head suddenly rushed down. With a leap, it instantly crossed the void of thousands of meters between the two and rushed toward Ting Qingshan with a fierce and mighty murderous aura. Xing Hui wanted to try the real power of the white tiger's saintly body, so he did not use the blazing and terrifying flames on the golden crow's saintly body. He just let the golden crow's saintly body hit the white tiger's saintly body head-on. The two behemoths with a diameter of nearly 100 meters suddenly collided in the void. The pure energy battle suddenly formed a visible energy shock in the void, which easily tore all the clouds in the sky. Rumble. In the violent vital chi collision, the golden crow's saintly body directly knocked the white tiger's saintly body away with its powerful energy and body. However, before the golden crow's saintly body had time to continue to attack, the white tiger's saintly body had already turned around. The tail behind him was like a 1,000-pound hammer. It smashed on the golden crow's saintly body, which had not had time to completely form an attack. The mighty and violent impact made the flames on the golden crow's saintly body sputter and energy overflow. With such a blow, the golden crow's saintly body dimmed by almost 1/10. Not only that, because Xing Hui did not use the talent of the golden crow's saintly body or the raging flames in his body, he just relied on the golden crow's saintly body to fight head-on with the white tiger's saintly body, which made the following battle obviously difficult. The white tiger's sacred body was unbelievably flexible. It could launch an attack from every part of its body. Moreover, its speed of shifting, changing positions, and flashing was extremely fast. The two revered war bodies fought fiercely in the void, causing an endless amount of vital chi to surge. Even the sea below was constantly shattered, forming countless tsunamis that swept in all directions. Without using various means, just by fighting head-on, the golden crow's saintly body is actually not the opponent of the white tiger's saintly body. That's amazing. Xing Hui sighed for a moment. Seeing that the golden crow's saintly body had been completely suppressed by the white tiger's saintly body, Wen Hui could draw out more power to attack his body through the golden crow's saintly body. Xing Hui no longer wasted time. The next moment, dazzling flames suddenly burst out from the golden crow's saintly body. As its claws tore down, the white tiger's saintly body let out a painful roar. A huge wound was torn on its body. In the wound, the Grand Sun True Fire covered it and directly ignited the white tiger's saintly body. Under the fierce flames, the energy contained in the white tiger's saintly body was burned into ashes. In a few breaths, the white tiger's saintly body had completely dissipated. Wen Hui, who had used the white tiger's saintly body, was also pale. Whoosh! Xing Hui withdrew the golden crow's saintly body and looked calm. Not bad. It is worthy of being one of the 6 divine saints. If it does not use its talent, it is enough to match the divine body. Moreover, it is a divine body that is good at fighting like the golden crow's saintly body. Xing Hui looked at Wen Hui and nodded with satisfaction. That is because the Lord did not really fight with me. When the Lord asked the golden crow's saintly body to go all out, my white tiger's saintly body was immediately defeated and could not support for long. You are wrong. Xing Hui shook his head and said, although in your opinion, your white tiger's saintly body will be defeated as soon as I use the power of the golden crow's saintly body, and the gap between the two seems to be quite significant, in fact, it is not the case. You should know that the consumption of the divine body is almost twice as much as that of the saintly body. If you use the white tiger's saintly body when my golden crow's saintly body is going all out, you will immediately change from a frontal attack to a side attack. Even if you are defeated in the end, you will never be defeated so quickly. At least half of the genuine qi in my golden crow's saintly body will be consumed. In this way, if you have other comrades who have condensed the holy grade body, they can take advantage of the situation and maybe defeat me with one blow. Energy consumption. Wen Hui was slightly stunned. But I think the golden crow's saintly body does not seem to be exhausted at all, Lord, that is me. Anyway, you just need to remember this. Xing Hui looked at Wen Hui and said, if there are 2 practitioners of the white tiger's saintly body working together, they will certainly be able to fight against 1 practitioner of the golden crow's saintly body. If the 3 of them work together, the practitioner of the golden crow's saintly body will be defeated in the end. I see. Hearing this, Wen Hui suddenly had a lot of confidence in his heart. Well, since you have cultivated the white tiger's saintly body and have such powerful strength, then, don't waste any more time. Let's go to the Green Lotus Sword sect. Us? The 2 of us? 2 people are enough. Xing Hui said. Without greeting the Life League, he directly took out his Saint-Winged Dragon Eagle and said, the news of your Green Lotus Sword sect's inauguration ceremony has been spread out for more than a month. Although there are still 10 days before the ceremony officially begins, I don't intend to wait so long. Let's go and take back what belongs to you. Inauguration Ceremony. Shen Qin Great Elder actually agreed to let Sect Master Tan Feng pass the position of Sect Master to Dong Yu. A trace of gloom flashed across Wen Hui's face. Although Dong Yu, Jin Lai, Ouyang Li, and the others also had a competitive relationship, this kind of competition still left some leeway. Dong Yu would eventually take over the position of Sect Master. If he wanted to establish his power, he would certainly not make a move on Jin Lai and Ouyang Li. Then, in the end, the only ones who could make a move were Wen Hui and the Wen family behind him. It was impossible for Shen Qin and the other great elders not to know this, but they still did not hesitate to choose Dong Yu to inherit the sect master's throne. Obviously, they had given up on the Wen family. Thinking of this, Wen Hui's eyes faintly had a trace of cold light. Shen Qin, Tan Feng, since you are heartless, then don't blame me for being unjust. Everything I do is for the future survival of our Wen family. Chapter 361. The Green Lotus Sword Sect. One of the 10 great sacred sects of the Eastern Wasteland. Although the Green Lotus Sword sect's influence had shrunk significantly in recent years due to the lack of manpower, a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. The entire Green Lotus Sword sect was still the supreme overlord that occupied thousands of kilometers around the Green Lotus mountain range. Countless forces, sects, and countries under its jurisdiction all bowed to the Green Lotus Sword sect. The disciples of the Green Lotus Sword sect still enjoyed the supreme status in this area. Under such circumstances, the Green Lotus Sword sect was holding an inheritance ceremony. The new sect master was about to take over the position, and the old were about to hand over their interests. Countless subordinate forces who had originally followed the path of the old sect master naturally prepared generous gifts and came to visit the new sect master to express their loyalty. As a result, the teams and forces heading to the Green Lotus mountain range naturally flowed endlessly. There were countless people coming and going in the Green Lotus mountain range, and the mountain range became unprecedentedly lively. The Green Lotus Sword sect was even more festive. However, the complete opposite of the festive atmosphere was the Wen family, who originally had the highest chance of competing for the sect master's throne. The Wen family was also considered a large family in the Green Lotus Sword sect. Even though there was no one from the Wen family among the 7 Grand Elders, Shuaguang, who was ranked 4th among the 7 Grand Elders, was completely indebted to the Wen family. She was nurtured by the Wen family single-handedly. In addition, the Wen family also had many Unity of Spirit stage and Green Netherworld stage experts who held positions as elders and mountain masters in the Green Lotus Sword sect. A year ago, perhaps 1/10 of the entire Green Lotus Sword sect belonged to the Wen family. But now, everything had become history. Following the strong rise of Dong Yu and the confirmation of him as the next sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, the Wen family suddenly suffered a serious blow led by the Dong family and a series of forces that relied on the Dong family. Not only did they lose more than half of their assets, even the elders and mountain lords who originally held high positions in the Green Lotus Sword sect were either demoted or captured. In just a little more than half a year, the huge Wen family was actually on the verge of vanishing. At this time, the Wen family's patriarch, Wen Shichuan, was busy sorting out the many lost resource points in the family. At this time, a young man with a cultivation of the spirit refining realm disregarded the rules and hurriedly ran over. Not good, patriarch. Xiaoyu was taken away by the Dong family. They framed Xiaoyu for stealing a portion of their One Origin holy water and broke into Xiaoyu's courtyard. They injured Elder Wen Su and forcefully took Xiaoyu away. Please think of a solution. What? The Dong family actually dared to attack Xiaoyu. Damn it. Xiaoyu is the most outstanding genius of our Dong family. At such a young age, not only did she awaken the White Tiger bloodline, but she also cultivated the holy grade qi. Her future is limitless. These people from the Dong family want to completely destroy our Wen family's hope of rising again. Where is Wen Yang? Didn't I ask him and Wen Su to protect Xiaoyu? Patriarch, have you forgotten? 6 days ago, Elder Wen Yang had a conflict with the 6 Unity sect because of Mountain Lord Wen Hua. He was severely injured by the sect master of the 6 Unity sect and is still in a coma. 6 Unity sect. The Dong family's lackey. Back then, when our Wen family was in power, the sect master of the 6 Unity sect, Fang He, did everything he could to establish a relationship with our Wen family. But now, he actually followed the Dong family to hit us while we were down. He is simply ungrateful, despicable, and shameless. Patriarch, what should we do now? We have to rescue Xiaoyu as soon as possible. If we are late, I'm afraid Xiaoyu's future will be completely ruined by them. The young man's face was filled with fear. He seemed to have lost his mind and did not know what to do. Damn it, Xiaoyu is not even 50 and has already cultivated to the peak of the spirit refining realm. Moreover, she has the hope of reaching the spirit Qi Unite realm. She is our Wen family's most promising seed to reach the prominent divine stage. We cannot let her fall into the hands of the Dong family and be destroyed by them. Otherwise, even if our Dong family can survive this calamity, our future will be ruined. When the older generation passes away, we will definitely fall into decline and become a second-rate family in the Green Lotus Sword sect. A trace of anxiety appeared on Wen Chuancher's face. What about Wen Hui? Wen Hui went overseas to seek reinforcements. Is there still no news? There is no news from Big Brother Wen Hui. He wouldn't ignore us, right? He won't. Wen Hui is our Wen family's most outstanding genius. He will definitely not sit by and watch our Wen family suffer a blow. He must be at a critical moment in his cultivation and has no time to be distracted. That's why he can't reply to our messages. What about Xiaoyu? What about Xiaoyu? Xiaoyu, a trace of pain appeared in Wen Chuancher's eyes. He understood that the Dong family had probably dug a trap for them to jump into. If he really brought the Wen family to the Dong family to ask for Xiaoyu, they would definitely fall into the Dong family's trap. At that time, not only would they lose Xiaoyu, but the entire Wen family would also suffer a great loss. Patriarch. The young man cried out in sorrow, if this goes on, I'm afraid that before the Dong family can completely destroy our Wen family will be divided internally. But the Dong family has obtained the support of several grand elders. Even Ouyang Li, Jin Lai, and the rest are trying to curry favor with the Dong family to ensure the benefits of the forces behind them. Right now, we simply do not have the ability to fight against them. If we are not careful, our Wen family will fall into a situation of eternal damnation. Let's show the Dong family how they are going to make our Wen family fall into eternal damnation. At this moment, a voice came from outside the courtyard. Immediately after, an uncontrollable cheer came from the courtyard. Countless Wen family members were as if welcoming the return of their savior. This voice, when the young man heard the sound outside the door, his face also revealed a look of ecstasy. He immediately rushed out and saw two people, surrounded by dozens of clan members, slowly walking towards the patriarch's study. One of them was the pillar of their Wen family, Wen Hui, who sat on the throne of the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Big brother Wen Hui, you're finally back, Wen Ping. Xing Hui nodded to the young man. Although the young man's talent was slightly inferior to Xiao Yu's, he was also someone who had awakened the White Tiger bloodline. However, later on, his cultivation was ruined and he could not condense divine grade Gang Qi. If he continued to be nurtured, there was a chance that he could step into the unity of spirit and Qi, or even the blue underworld realm in the future. Clan leader, I've heard about this matter. The Dong clan actually dared to intrude into our Wen clan's territory to capture someone. How bold of them. Do they think that Dong Yu can be lawless in our Green Lotus Sword sect just because he's sitting on the sect master's throne? Humph. Although he has been appointed as the next sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect by several supreme elders, the inauguration ceremony has not yet been held, so he is not the real sect master. Who gave the Dong family the right to barge into the territory of other clans? Big brother Wen Hui, it's great that you're here. Let's hurry and save Xiao Yu. If we don't go now, it'll be too late. The young man, Wen Ping, said anxiously. Wen Hui stretched out his hand with a cold glint in his eyes. Simply bringing Xiao Yu back would be too easy for them. The Dong family dared to barge into our Wen family's territory to kidnap someone. We must take this opportunity to teach them an unforgettable lesson. Wen Ping, go and summon all the elders of the Wen family. If the Dong family doesn't give me a satisfactory explanation, don't blame the Wen family for disregarding our friendship. Wen Hui, don't be rash. Wen Chuanche's expression changed when he heard Wen Hui's words. He hurriedly stopped Wen Hui, a small Dong clan is nothing. It's not difficult for our Wen clan to destroy them. However, the problem is Dong Yu himself and those supreme elders who were somehow bribed by Dong Yu. Those supreme elders are determined to push Dong Yu onto the throne. It's precisely because of this that major forces like the Six Unity sect are seizing the opportunity to show off their strength and curry favor with Dong Yu. If we really enter the Dong clan's territory en masse, we will definitely trigger those supreme elders' nerves. I'm afraid that we will offend all of them. Supreme elders? Don't we also have supreme elders behind our Wen family? Is Elder Shua Guang just going to watch the Dong family bully our Wen family like this? 2 months ago, Elder Shua Guang was still protecting our Wen family. However, I don't know what method Dong Yu used to bribe Elder Shua Guang. During this period of time, Elder Shua Guang used the excuse of going into seclusion and did not come out. Our Wen family went to ask for an audience with him, but we were rejected time and time again. Clearly, Elder Shua Guang has betrayed our Wen family. Shua Guang is actually this kind of person. Good. Good. Very good. Wen Hui's expression was gloomy as he gritted his teeth. When Wen Chuancher saw this, he hurriedly consoled, Wen Hui, don't be agitated. Currently, Dong Yu is powerful and we should take a step back. If we have an all-out conflict with them now, it won't be good for our Wen family. We can only wait for you to break through to the prominent domain stage. Only then will we have a chance to reverse the situation. At that time. Prominent domain stage. A cruel smile appeared on Wen Hui's face. Wait for me to break through to the prominent domain stage. Hee, there's no need to wait. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and fiercely clenched it. He felt the terrifying power in his hand. I am already there. Already there. Wen Chuancher was slightly taken aback. He immediately realized what Wen Hui meant by already there, and an uncontrollable look of ecstasy appeared on his face. Wen Hui, you mean? That's right. Let me introduce you to someone. As Wen Hui spoke, he gestured with his hand and Xing Hui appeared behind him. The Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's Grand Elder, the Sea-Suppressing Hall's Hall Master, the Life Alliance's Alliance Master, who single-handedly killed 2 of the Creation Mystical Sect's Grand Elders, the person with the Golden Crow divine body that the Creation Mystical Sect hates to the bone, Lord Chode Xing Hui. Xing Hui. The Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's Grand Elder, Chode Xing Hui. The divine grade Golden Crow battle body cultivator who single-handedly killed 2 of the Creation Mystical Sect's Grand Elders. When the Wen clan's members heard Wen Hui's introduction, their eyes widened as excitement quickly filled their faces. If one were to ask who was the most famous cultivator in the Eastern Wilderness recently, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's Grand Elder, Chode Xing Hui, would definitely be number 1. It is indeed Lord Xing Hui. With that, he exhaled slowly. With Lord Qing Su's help, Wen Hui, have completely broken through the door of the Vision Divine stage and condensed a saint body. Moreover, I've condensed a saint body of the White Tiger battle body. Chapter 362. With Lord Qing Su's help, Wen Hui, have completely broken through the door of the Prominent Domain realm and condensed a saint body, reaching the Prominent Domain realm. Furthermore, I've condensed the Saint White Tiger battle body. Wen Hui said slowly. His tone was filled with pride and exuberance. The reason why the great elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect gave up on Wen Hui was partly because of Dong Yu's outstanding talent, and partly because Wen Hui was gradually sinking and had no hope of reaching the Prominent Divine stage. Even if he was lucky enough to reach the Prominent Divine stage, he would only be able to condense an ordinary spiritual battle physique at best and become a little ordinary. However, no one would have thought that he would meet Xing Hui at the crucial moment. Xing Hui gave him the corpse of a rank 9 White Tiger Sacred Beast. With the corpse of the White Tiger Sacred Beast, not only did he successfully reach the Prominent Divine stage and condense a divine body, but it was also the White Tiger Combat Body, which was the most powerful divine body. Divine body. You actually condensed a divine body and reached the Prominent Divine stage. Moreover, you are cultivating the White Tiger divine body that is unparalleled in killing. Wen Chuancher could not help but step forward and look at Wen Hui with excitement. Are you telling the truth? How can this be false? Wen Hui replied. White Tiger divine body, White Tiger divine body. Good, this is great. Ha 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 ha. After receiving Wen Hui's confirmation, Wen Chuancher could not help but laugh out loud. Brother Wen Hui, have you really reached the Prominent Divine stage? The same Prominent Divine stage as the Supreme Elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect? Wen Ping and the disciples of the Wen family who followed Wen Hui into the room could not help but ask. Of course. If the Dong family continues to be stubborn, you will soon see the true power of the White Tiger divine body. Wen Hui replied. What White Tiger divine body? At this moment, there was another sound outside the courtyard. Then, a few middle-aged men and women of the Unison of Divine Qi realm stepped into the courtyard under the lead of 2 Green Netherworld realm experts. There were a total of 4 Green Hell realm powerhouses in the Wen clan, Wen Hui and Wen Chuancher. Including the 2 in front of him, all the Green Hell realm powerhouses in the Wen clan were present. Elder Wen Xing, Mountain Chieftain Wen Hua, you came just in time. Good news, great news. What good news? I seem to have heard someone talking about the white tiger's sacred body, which is the best at attacking among the 6 divine saints. Wen Xing said. The white tiger's saintly body is indeed the white tiger's saintly body. After several months of hard work overseas, Wen Hui condensed the white tiger's saintly body with the help of Hunyuan Heaven Sect's great elder Tsing Hui. He became the 3rd cultivator in our Green Lotus Sword sect to condense a saint battle body besides Shen Qin and Great Elder Lu Ren. Wen Chuancher couldn't wait to share the news with the other 2 Green Netherworld Realm elders of the Wen clan. Upon hearing Wen Chuancher's words, Wen Xing, Wen Hua, and the remaining elders of the Wen clan were all stunned. It was a long while before they turned their gazes towards Wen Hui in disbelief. Wen Hui, is what the clan leader said true? You really stepped into the prominent divine stage and condensed a saint battle body? And it's the white tiger saintly body of the 6 divine saints? Wen Hui didn't say much and only fully displayed his prominent divine stage aura. Although it wasn't good to display the power of the white tiger's saintly body here, as a top-killing saint beast, just a trace of his aura was enough to make everyone reveal an uncontrollable shock. After the shock, their faces were filled with ecstasy. Good, this is great. Wen Hui has actually reached the prominent divine stage. With his prominent divine stage strength, which force would dare to underestimate our Green Lotus Sword sect? Prominent divine stage, this is definitely the aura of the prominent divine stage. Moreover, the killing intent in the aura is so dense. It's most likely the real white tiger saintly body. Not only did our Wen clan produce a prominent divine stage expert who has condensed a saintly body, but it's also the white tiger saintly body. It's really the blessing of our ancestors. Wen Xing and Wen Hua couldn't help but lose their composure and shout. It's not the blessing of our ancestors, but Supreme Elder Tsing Hui. If it wasn't for Supreme Elder Tsing Hui's help, Wen Hui definitely wouldn't have such achievements. Wen Hui hurriedly said and pushed all the credit to Tsing Hui. At this time, Wen Xing, Wen Hua, and the others of the Wen clan acted as if they just knew that Tsing Hui was here. When they thought of his terrifying divine battle body, they immediately bowed. Greetings, Supreme Elder Tsing Hui. Thank you for your love and nurturing of our Wen Hui. Love and nurture, that's nothing. We've just made a deal between us. Tsing Hui replied with a faint smile. Deal? Wen Xing was slightly startled. What deal? We'll talk about this later. Now that Grand Elder Wen Xing and Mountain Lord Wen Hua are here, let's not waste any more time in case anything happens to Xiaoyu. Let's go to the Dong clan and ask for her directly. Wen Hui waved his hand. Xiaoyu? Wen Xiaoyu, what happened to her? Wen Xing and Wen Hua still did not know what was going on. Wen Ping, who was next to them, hurriedly told them what had happened. When the 2 of them found out that the Dong family had the audacity to barge into the Wen family's territory, injure their elder Wen Su and kidnap Wen Xiaoyu, they were enraged. Dong Yu, Dong Zhongming, they are digging their own graves. The Dong clan has a good idea. They want to use this method to anger us so that they can find an excuse to deal with our Wen clan openly. Very good. I have to say that they have succeeded. However, they would never have expected that our Wen clan is no longer the same as before. Apart from us old fellows, Wen Hui has already stepped into the prominent divine realm. Moreover, he has condensed the white tiger saint physique. This time, we must teach them a bloody lesson. In the past few months, our Wen clan has been suppressed by the Dong clan and a series of forces that relied on the Dong clan. We could only watch as the benefits that belonged to our Wen clan were taken away one by one. However, we did not dare to say anything. But now, everything is over. Finally, it's time for us to vent our anger. They have to obediently spit out everything that they have taken from our Dong clan. Moreover, they have to pay a heavy price. Let's go and kill our way to the Dong clan. Everyone in the Wen clan was filled with righteous indignation. With Wen Hui, a prominent divine stage expert holding the fort, their confidence had obviously increased by a lot compared to before. All of them clamored and quickly surrounded Wen Hui as they headed towards the Dong clan. In the crowd, Tsing Hui looked at Wen Hui, who was surrounded by the Wen clan, with a faint sneer on his face. It seems that these Wen clan members are not fools. They had already understood from Wen Hui's attitude that the so-called deal was extremely disadvantageous to the Wen clan. Therefore, they consciously began to dissolve his presence. Otherwise, Tsing Hui, a prominent divine stage expert who had condensed the Golden Crow's sacred body, would not have such an attitude when he came to the Wen clan, even if he was a grand elder of the Hunyuan Heaven sect and not the Green Lotus Sword sect. Interesting. You want to deal with the so-called deal between me and Wen Hui? Ha! A playful smile hung on Tsing Hui's face as he followed behind the Wen clan group. The group of people majestically passed through the Green Lotus Sword sect and headed towards the Dong clan. The Wen clan's large-scale mobilization naturally attracted the attention of many people. Logically speaking, the higher-ups of the Green Lotus Sword sect should have stopped such a large-scale conflict that was highly likely to lead to internal strife. After all, even if they wanted to establish their authority, there should be a limit to it. It was impossible to cause heavy casualties. However, it was unknown whether the benefits Dong Yu offered were too great or for some other reason, but no one came out to stop the Wen clan group despite the numerous faction representatives pointing at them. The Wen clan group of several hundred people arrived at the Dong clan without any danger and charged into the Dong clan's main gate, which even the guards had been removed. Dong Yu, Dong Zhongming, the two of you come out. Wen Hui, who had the highest cultivation base along the way, was directly elected as the leader of the group. After stepping into the Dong clan's territory, he loudly shouted, Wen Hui, Wen Chuanshi, Wen Xing, Wen Hua, each of you has the guts to barge into our Dong clan and cause trouble. After seeing the Wen clan directly barging into the Dong clan's territory, the Dong clan's head, Dong Zhongming, quickly led the Dong clan's elders out of the inner courtyard. The Dong clan only had 2 Green Netherworld Realm experts, Dong Yu and Dong Zhongming, and only 14 Spirit Uniting Realm cultivators. However, in this courtyard, other than the Dong clan's Green Netherworld Realm experts, there were actually a large number of subordinate forces from the Green Lotus Sword sect, including some Green Lotus Sword sect mountain masters. There were actually no less than 9 people in total. Including the 2 from the Dong clan, there were a total of 11 people. The Wen clan had several times more Green Netherworld Realm experts than the Wen clan and several times more Spirit Uniting Realm experts than the Wen clan. They directly sealed off the Wen clan's path and quickly surrounded them. Their intentions were as clear as day. Hee hee, I thought you cowards would continue to hide like before. Who would have thought? That so-called genius girl from the Wen clan called Wen Xiaoyu still has some status in your hearts. The Dong clan's head, Dong Zhongming, took a step forward with a mocking smile on his face. He seemed to be mocking them for being unable to sit still after being provoked and jumping into their trap one by one. Where's Xiaoyu? Where did you take Xiaoyu? Hand her over immediately. Otherwise, don't blame the Wen clan for not letting this matter rest. The Wen clan is not letting this matter rest? Now, even if the Wen clan is willing to let this matter rest, the Dong clan will not let this matter rest so easily. The Wen clan has mobilized so many people and aggressively barged into the Dong clan. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to start a civil war in the Green Lotus Sword sect? At this moment, a stern shout came from the direction of the door. Then, a man who looked to be about the same age as Wen Hui and had a cold aura strode into the courtyard. As the new sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, I will not tolerate a group of black sheep like you who have destroyed the stability of the Green Lotus Sword sect. What a joke, Dong Yu. Are you saying that only you can disregard the sect rules and barge into the Wen clan and the Wen clan can only watch as you take her away? Wen Hui looked at the man in front of him with a cold glint in his eyes. That's right, hand her over immediately. Disregarding the sect rules and barging into the Wen clan? You seem to be mistaken about one thing. Dong Yun and the rest did not barge into the Wen clan. They were ordered by the higher-ups to capture the female thief who was trying to steal the sect's precious resources from the Wen clan. On the contrary, you are the ones who disregarded the sect rules and barged into the Dong clan with ill intentions. Dong Yu sneered as he spoke. As for the female thief you mentioned, bring her over. Following Dong Yu's order, two people quickly carried over a woman who was covered in blood and had all her bones broken. Her genuine chi had been crippled, and she looked completely paralyzed. This female thief stole our sect's precious resources and was stubborn. She refused to confess, so we had no choice but to punish her. Fortunately, it turned out that we did not wrongly accuse a good person. She was indeed the one who stole the One Origin holy water. We still have her signature to prove it. Chapter 363. Dong Yu slowly raised a piece of paper with indecipherable words on it, but it was stained with blood, proving that he was indeed following the rules and regulations of the sect. On his face, there was a victorious smile, looking at the Wen clan with eyes full of mockery. His expression was no longer as obvious as before. He wanted the Wen family to fight with them and shed all pretense of cordiality. In the next moment, everyone in the Wen clan exploded. Bastard! Dong Yu, you, the deputy sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, actually used such despicable means to deal with an ordinary disciple. You deserve to die. I'll kill you, I'll kill you. Curses and scoldings filled with rage rang out from the crowd of the Wen family members. When the Wen family members saw Wen Xiaoyu's pitiful state and how she was proudly holding up the confession that was obviously a forced confession, they were so angry that they wished they could tear Dong Yu into pieces. As a disciple of the Green Lotus Sword sect, you actually dare to be rude to me, the future sect leader. This is simply unforgivable. Slap your mouth. When Dong Yu heard the Wen family's angry curses, a cold smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He immediately ordered the few Divine Energy Unity stage experts beside him. Xiao. Following his command, the three spirit refining cultivators turned into rays of light and rushed towards the three people who were cursing the most fiercely. Their ferocious appearance made it seem as if they wanted to teach these people an unforgettable lesson in front of everyone in the Wen clan. They wanted to trample on the Wen clan's face and dignity. Bang! Without waiting for the three spirit refining cultivators to reach the Wen clan, a majestic force descended from the sky and blasted on the three of them. The three of them could not help but kneel down, their knees smashing heavily on the ground, causing fresh blood to spurt out. Dong Yu. The one who attacked was Wen Hui. The one who previously suppressed Dong Yu, the one who was the biggest threat to Dong Yu, the one who he wanted to kill the most. If all you did was to infuriate me, then I have to tell you that you've succeeded. Wen Hui stared at Dong Yu, the coldness and killing intent in his eyes seemed to have solidified. Staring at Dong Yu, the cultivators who relied on Dong Yu shuddered. Provoke you? No, no. Everything I did was just according to the rules and regulations of the sect. But you, Wen Hui, as the deputy head of the Green Lotus Sword sect, you actually dared to attack the law enforcement disciples of the sect for no reason. You violated the rules of the Green Lotus Sword sect for no reason and killed your fellow disciples. This is a crime that you knowingly broke the law. Do you plead guilty? Dong Yu laughed happily. The reason why he sent spirit refining cultivators to the Wen family's camp was because he was afraid that Wen Hui and the others would hesitate and not have the time to act. However, it was clear that everything was going according to his plan. As long as Wen Hui's crime was pinned down, even if he didn't die, he would still lose a layer of skin. Plead guilty. Wen Hui looked at Dong Yu, the killing intent in his eyes growing deeper and deeper, but his emotions gradually calmed down. I didn't see any law enforcement disciples. What I saw was a group of thugs of unknown origin who tried to attack the loyal disciples of the Green Lotus Sword sect. In order to ensure the safety of the disciples of the Green Lotus Sword sect, I had no choice but to take action and kill all these thugs. Therefore, attack. Kill. Hearing the killing intent in Wen Hui's tone, Dong Yu's expression changed. Those three law enforcement disciples were members of the Dong family. Wen Hui, you dare, bang. Accompanied by Dong Yu's angry roar, Wen Hui suddenly pressed down with his hand. The next moment, the three spirit refining cultivators of the Dong clan, who were originally suppressed by his majestic qi, let out miserable shrieks at the same time. In an instant, they were crushed into a mist of blood by the violent increase in pressure and exploded on the spot. Seeing Wen Hui directly killing the three spirit refining cultivators of the Dong family, the cultivators of the Six Unity Gate, Jin family, and Ouyang family standing beside Dong Yu had a change in expression. Killing. Actually killing. Openly killing in front of everyone. The internal strife of the Green Lotus Sword sect had always been intense. However, if they were to lose face on the surface and repair it, crippling the enemy was the limit. Moreover, they had to find a suitable reason to do so. After all, there were still the 7 Grand Elders suppressing them. As members of the Green Lotus Sword sect, these Grand Elders couldn't just watch the disciples of the Green Lotus Sword sect kill each other. As for the method of killing someone, there was one, but this method had to be carried out in secret. They couldn't let anyone find out the evidence, otherwise, the 7 Grand Supreme Elders would unavoidably hold them accountable. But now Wen Hui had actually killed someone in front of everyone. Immediately, everyone looked at Wen Hui and the Wen family with pity and sympathy. After all, they were still young and couldn't be provoked. Following his killing spree, Dong Yu had enough reason to punish Wen Hui. Putting aside the fact that Wen Hui had no fate with the position of sect master and could only be a peripheral mountain chieftain, Dong Yu might even take this opportunity to directly kill Wen Hui and get rid of this hidden danger once and for all. Good, good, good. Wen Hui, how dare you? You actually dare to kill in front of this sect master. Killing fellow disciples is a big taboo. You're the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, but you're the first to do such a crazy thing. Sect Master Fang, Mountain Lord Jin, Sect Master Wang, please take this man down for me and hand him over to the punishment department. Dong Yu ordered angrily, pointing at the 3 green Netherworld realm experts who had sided with him. In the end, he added in a slightly cruel tone, if he dares to resist, kill him. Ha, arrest me. Dong Yu, who do you think you are? What right do you have to arrest me? Fang He and Wang are all outsiders. You colluded with outsiders of the Green Lotus Sword sect and tried to attack me, the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Are you trying to rebel? What right do I have? Because I'm the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. The sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. The inauguration ceremony hasn't been held yet. What kind of sect master are you? Moreover, you want to be the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect? Have you asked for my permission? Dong Yu sneered. The sect master's message has been spread throughout the eastern wilderness. Isn't that enough proof? I don't want to talk to people like you who kill fellow disciples. You guys go and arrest him. Anyone who dares to save him will be treated as an accomplice and killed without mercy. Is this really going to be an all-out war? If a civil war really breaks out, the Green Lotus Sword sect will lose our own strength in the end. Mountain Lord Jin looked a little hesitant. The other cultivators who were watching the situation unfold also looked worried. They thought that the replacement of the sect master's throne would be like the previous one, where the sect master's main competitor would be suppressed to establish his power, pay a great price, lose his prestige, and be unable to threaten the current sect master. However, if things continued to develop like this, the situation was about to get out of control. Mountain Lord Jin was still hesitating and did not make a move. However, at this time, the powerful Wen Hui could not hold back anymore. Ha, kill me. Dong Yu, I think the person who really killed fellow disciples is not me, but you. Your Dong family actually crippled a genius disciple of my Green Lotus Sword sect because of an unnecessary crime. Your crime is unforgivable. Now that we have seen through your trick, you actually want to collude with these outsiders to kill me, the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Today, as the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, I will clean up the sect and behead you, the person who colluded with outsiders to frame a disciple of the sect, in public, and return justice to my Green Lotus Sword sect." As soon as Wen Hui finished speaking, his figure suddenly leaped up and swept up a terrifying aura. He went straight for Dong Yu, who was in the middle of the crowd. The aura that erupted from his attack not only included Dong Yu, but also the sect master of the Six Unity sect, Fang He, and the sect master of the Half Mountain sect. He wanted to fight against the three of them alone. "Sect Master Wen, don't make a mistake." Mountain Lord Jin saw that Wen Hui dared to take the initiative and hurriedly shouted. Some people felt that the situation was out of control and hurriedly reported it to the Supreme Elder. On the contrary, Dong Yu's eyes were filled with uncontrollable surprise and joy. "How dare you? Wen Hui, you dare to attack me, the sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. You're really seeking your own death. Sect Master Fang, Sect Master Wang, let's attack together and kill him on the spot." As soon as he finished speaking, the aura of the divine art suddenly erupted from his body. The energy fluctuation that was originally at the peak of the Green Netherworld realm directly rushed to the Vision Divine stage. Moreover, it was at the peak of the Vision Divine stage. The momentum was so strong that it instantly suppressed the experts of the Green Netherworld realm. Feeling the powerful aura from Dong Yu, Fang He and Wang Quan did not hesitate at this time. The terrifying aura of the Green Netherworld realm also erupted. They both held their swords and attacked at the same time. They were about to collide head-on with Wen Hui, who was pouncing down from the void. However, just as their auras collided with Wen Hui's aura, which was already extremely powerful, suddenly surged. Immediately after, a terrifying wave of energy swept out from his body, stirring up the wind and clouds. In an instant, an illusory image of a white tiger condensed above his head. Endless destructive power rolled down from the illusory image of the white tiger. Just the impact of its aura was enough to make Fang He and Wang Quan's expressions change drastically. This is Divine Body. Divine Body. This is the manifestation of the Divine Body. White Tiger Divine Body. Oh my God, one of the 6 Divine Saints, White Tiger Divine Body. Vision Divine Stage. Vision Divine Stage. Vice Sect Master Wen Hui actually broke through to the Vision Divine Stage. Moreover, he condensed the White Tiger Divine Body that only Supreme Elder Shin Qin could condense in the entire Green Lotus Sword sect. Suddenly, there was a burst of uncontrollable screams from the surrounding crowd. The huge sound wave almost overturned the roof of the Dong family's courtyard. Vision Divine Stage. Moreover, he actually manifested the White Tiger Divine Body, one of the 6 Divine Saints. Looking at the huge White Tiger Phantom and the suffocating, terrifying aura from the White Tiger Phantom, Fang He and Wang Quan, who bore the brunt of it, were stunned. As the aura of the White Tiger Divine Body erupted, countless powerful auras rose from the depths of the Green Lotus Sword sect at the same time. Moreover, they flew toward the direction of the White Tiger Divine Body's aura at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 364. Die. Wen Hui, who had revealed the White Tiger's sacred body, pounced down from the void and let out an angry roar. The White Tiger's sacred body, which was supported by the divine soul of the White Tiger, followed his will and let out a long roar toward the sky. Its huge sharp claws, which carried a blow that could almost shatter the void, ruthlessly fell on Fang He, Wang Quan, and Dong Yu. Dong Yu was better off. He relied on the power of the divine skill and a rank 6 armor at the last moment to save his life. However, he still spat out blood and fell heavily on the ground. The courtyard walls and attic of the Dong family behind him were smashed into pieces, and a large amount of smoke and dust splashed out. On the other hand, Fang He and Wang Quan were not so lucky. Even though Dong Yu had blocked most of the White Tiger's strongest attack, the dissipated energy still crushed Wang Quan's attack into smithereens. The remaining energy slammed into Wang Quan's body, turning the half-mountain sect master, who was at the late stage of the green netherworld realm, into a bloody mist on the spot. Fang He, on the other hand, was only affected by the dissipated energy of the white tiger's attack. However, the suffocating, terrifying impact still slammed into his body, sending him flying backward as he spat out a mouthful of blood. Sacred body. Moreover, it was the white tiger's sacred body, which was the best at fighting. It was not something that the green netherworld realm experts could resist. Any cultivator of the Qingming realm who was targeted by the white tiger's saintly body would end up dead without any difference. White tiger's sacred body. Impossible. Impossible. This is impossible. How could you break through to the prominent divine realm and condense the white tiger's sacred body? Dong Yu, who was in the smoke and dust, widened his eyes and looked at Wen Hui, who was emitting a terrifying pressure in the void. His eyes were full of horror, and he no longer had the confidence and calmness that he had before. Ha ha ha, why can't I break through to the prominent divine realm? Why can't I condense the white tiger's sacred body? You can get an opportunity to upgrade your chaotic level to rank 10. Why can't I get an opportunity that belongs to me? Dong Yu, you've infuriated me time and time again, wanting me to attack you. At the end of the day, isn't it because you want to rely on the power of your divine arts to kill me after I attack you? Once and for all, you'll get rid of me once and for all, and at the same time, you'll avenge the humiliation you suffered at my hands? Now, as you wish, I am attacking you. Come on, let me see what ability you have to kill me with your divine skill to upgrade to the prominent divine realm. Wen Hui laughed wildly, and stared at Dong Yu's eyes were full of murderous intent, killing intent. You. Wen Hui. This is the Green Lotus Sword Sect, and I am the future sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword Sect. If you kill me, you will be betraying the entire Green Lotus Sword Sect. The Great Elder of the Green Lotus Sword Sect will not let you go. Dong Yu crawled up from the dust with difficulty and immediately tried to flee in the direction of the Grand Elder's aura. But before he could escape, the white tiger's sacred body under Wen Hui's control had already roared and attacked again. Now you know that this is the Green Lotus Sword Sect. Betraying the Green Lotus Sword Sect. Do you think the Grand Elders of the Green Lotus Sword Sect will pay attention to a green netherworld realm cultivator with divine skill, or a peerless genius who has condensed the white tiger's sacred body in the prominent divine realm? Escape? Why are you escaping? Don't you want to force me to attack so that you have a reason to kill me? Attack! Wen Hui roared angrily and the white tiger's saintly physique pounced down. Although Dong Yu had released his aura at the first moment and even took out a rank 7 divine weapon in an attempt to resist the sharpness of the white tiger's saintly physique, the unparalleled killing power of the white tiger's saintly physique was too great. Not to mention Dong Yu, who had broken through to the prominent divine realm with the help of the divine technique. Even some prominent divine realm experts who had condensed the spiritual battle physique wouldn't be able to resist the thunderous attack of the white tiger's saintly physique. Rumble. Along with the explosion of primordial qi, the divine weapon in Wen Hui's hand was directly shaken and flew out, and the aura on his body was crushed again. He was ruthlessly stepped on by the white tiger's sacred body, which had a diameter of nearly 100 meters. The golden murderous aura contained in the white tiger's sacred body wantonly attacked Dong Yu's body, and directly tore him into a bloody man. Kill! Kill! Kill him! Dong Yu, how dare you persecute the disciples of the Wen family? You deserve to die. Dong Yu, you also have a day like this. Weren't you arrogant and despotic in the past few months and didn't put anyone in your eyes? Come on, now you people of the Dong family can continue to be arrogant. Ha ha ha, you people dare to go against the Wen family. Today, it's time for you to pay the price. Seeing that Dong Yu was easily defeated by Wen Hui, the people of the Wen family all roared. Their eyes were filled with the joy of revenge and madness of venting. On the other hand, the people of the Dong family, as well as those forces who had sided with the Dong family, were all terrified. Many people were so scared that their faces turned pale and their bodies trembled. Those forces who thought that they had not persecuted the Wen family wanted to quietly escape while everyone's eyes were focused on Wen Hui and Dong Yu. Among them was the sect master of the Six Unity sect, Fang He, who had survived. Fang He, your Six Unity sect was originally going to be forcibly annexed by our Green Lotus Sword sect. Our Wen family saw that it was not easy for your Six Unity sect to be established, so we fought for some autonomy for you, so that your Six Unity sect could have the land to survive in our Green Lotus Sword sect. I didn't expect that not only were you not grateful, but you even dared to betray the Wen family and side with the Dong family to persecute the people of the Wen family. This kind of traitor deserves to die. Wen Hui suddenly turned his head and fiercely glared at Fang He. His eyes shot out a terrifying killing intent. Sensing Wen Hui's gaze, Fang He was so scared that his body trembled. He hurriedly shouted, "No, no, Sect Master Wen, I didn't betray you. I didn't betray your Wen family. I was just deceived by the Dong family, so I die." Before Fang He could finish his words, Wen Hui had already roared. In the next moment, the white tiger sacred beast that was stepping on Dong Yu suddenly roared and opened its mouth. A golden stream of light shot out at an incredible speed, instantly blasting Fang He's head. The remaining power didn't diminish at all and pierced through the dozens of pavilions of the Dong family. The annihilating power quickly caused those pavilions to collapse one after another, sputtering smoke and dust all over the sky. During this time, dozens of Dong family disciples were killed. "Wen Hui, how dare you attack our Dong family so heavily? Are you trying to start a civil war in our Green Lotus Sword sect?" Dong Zhongming, the Dong family's patriarch, glared angrily when he saw that the Dong family's residence was almost destroyed. "Civil war? Your small Dong family dares to start a civil war with me? If my Wen family wants to destroy your Dong family, why would we need a civil war? Today, I will kill all the higher-ups of your Dong family. From today onwards, there will be no more spirit and chi unification realm cultivators in the Dong family." Wen Hui laughed wantonly, and the pressure he had been under for the past few months completely erupted at this moment. "Die! Roar!" Under his control, the white tiger sacred body suddenly let out a deafening roar and stomped on Dong Yu's body. The power of Dong Yu's divine technique and the defense of his Tier 6 armor could not withstand the blow of the white tiger sacred body. "Ah! Wen Hui, stop! How dare you!" In the direction of the Supreme Elder Association, Supreme Elder Shinqin's angry roar suddenly came. At this time, the Supreme Elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect, who were relatively slow to react, finally arrived. Unfortunately, Wen Hui, who was determined to kill Dong Yu, did not want to give Dong Yu a chance to live. He was about to stimulate the power of the white tiger's sacred body to stomp Dong Yu to death. "Wait a minute." At this moment, Xing Hui, who had been watching a good show, spoke. Hearing Xing Hui's words, Wen Hui, who was not even willing to pay attention to Shinqin and the other Supreme Elders, was shocked. When he thought of the scene where Xing Hui defeated him without using the divine technique and only relying on the Golden Crow's sacred body, his angry heart quickly recovered a trace of calmness. He suppressed the killing intent in his heart and turned to Xing Hui with a trace of confusion. "Lord Xing Hui, wouldn't it be a pity to kill a Tier 10 Son of Chaos? If you can sell him, you can sell him for more than 50 Dao charms. Leave this person to me," Xing Hui said lightly. Wen Hui did not dare to disobey Xing Hui's words. In addition, if Dong Yu was really stripped of his identity as the Son of Chaos, it would be difficult for him to pose any threat to him. He immediately controlled the power of the white tiger's sacred body and only seriously injured him in one blow. He even fiercely shook his brain and knocked him out, but did not directly kill him. However, the other members of the Dong family behind him saw that Wen Hui had actually held back and hurriedly said, "Wen Hui, if you cut the weeds without removing the roots, they will grow again when the spring breeze blows. If we don't take advantage of this opportunity to kill Dong Yu, the Supreme Elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect will not easily let him suffer any more harm." After all, he is also a battle force that can be used as a prominent divine expert at special times. Xing Hui glanced at Wen Chuanshi, who was speaking, and said lightly, Wen Hui, it seems that your words are not in charge of the Wen family alone. Wen Hui heard the dissatisfaction in Xing Hui's tone and associated it with the spiritual brand in the hands of the Almighty behind Xing Hui. Suddenly, he shuddered and quickly reprimanded Wen Chuanshi, don't say anything more. This child will be handed over to Lord Xing Hui to deal with, no more objections. Wen Chuanshi was about to say something, but Wen Hua, who saw that something was wrong, secretly pulled Wen Chuanshi and shook his head at him. At that moment, Wen Chuanshi could only suppress the thoughts in his heart with some dissatisfaction. He glanced at Xing Hui and Dong Yu, and then glanced at the Supreme Elders who had already arrived at the scene and snorted coldly. He wanted to see how Xing Hui planned to take Dong Yu away and force him to reveal his primal chaos secret art. Xiao. Supreme Elder Shen Qin's speed was not slow, and behind her, the other 6 Supreme Elders of the Supreme Elder Council had all arrived, except for 2 who were in seclusion. Seeing that Dong Yu was suppressed by the White Tiger's saintly body and was extremely miserable but not dead, Shen Qin and the other Supreme Elders breathed a sigh of relief. Then, their eyes fell on Wen Hui's White Tiger's saintly body, and their eyes were filled with amazement. White Tiger's saintly body. It really is the White Tiger's saintly body. At first, I thought I was wrong, but I didn't expect it to be true. Our Green Lotus Sword sect actually has another cultivator with the White Tiger's saintly body. Shen Qin said as her eyes swept through the crowd. In fact, she didn't need to guess to know what had happened. However, when her eyes saw Xing Hui standing in the Wen family, she seemed to think of something, and a trace of haze appeared in her heart. Suddenly, she said to Wen Hui in an unquestionable tone, let's stop here. If the matter of the same sect killing each other is spread out, how will the world view our Green Lotus Sword sect? And Dong Zhongming, in the future, your Dong family must not provoke the Wen family, do you hear me? Dong Zhongming heard the intention of Supreme Elder Shen Qin to protect the Dong family, and he suddenly nodded in surprise, yes, Supreme Elder, we understand. From now on, our Dong family will not dare to offend the Wen family. Well, that's it. Take Dong Yu to treat his injuries. As for Wen Hui, you come with me. I know more or less what happened to your Wen family. Rest assured, our Green Lotus Sword sect will compensate your Wen family. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.